Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder.
Slicker.
Cooler.
Tougher.
Let's go.
So what you got?
If dirt was a paycheck, we'd all be leaving here rich tonight. Until that happens, it pays to use Tub-O-Tal's heavy-duty cleaning wipes. At the track, in the garage, or at home, Tub-O-Tal's is tough on dirt, easy on hands, and made in the USA. Tub-O-Tal's, the world's hardest working wipe, available at all major automotive and hardware retail stores.
The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws!
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
This is a special presentation of DIRTVision, bringing you the pinnacle of dirt track racing. Led by World of Outlaws sprints and late models. We also have the Super DIRTcar Series, Extreme Outlaw Midgets, American Sprint Car Series, and DIRTcar Summer Nationals. Plus, weekly racing and special events at America's premier racetracks. The best drivers, the best coverage. DIRTVision is home to the greatest shows on dirt.
Every season begins with change. New teams, new combinations, familiar drivers chasing unfamiliar paths. Some are betting on experience, others are betting on belief. Rookies stepping into the loudest classroom in racing, where lessons come fast and mistakes can come harder. Because change doesn't ask for permission, it demands commitment. This is where chemistry is tested, where expectations meet reality, where a 10-month odyssey begins its journey. Welcome to 2026. Welcome to the DIRTcar Nationals.
The hunt for DIRTcar supremacy has reached its breaking point at Volusia Speedway Park with a $20,000 first place prize, the Golden Gator with the biggest bite up for grabs, and the Championship Series points that go with it. It feels like an all or nothing night's on tap for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. A feeling so palpable, it's also being felt 495 miles north of the world's fastest half mile in the DIRTVision studios here in North Carolina. From wherever you are watching around the world, I'm Dave Reef. Welcome
to pre-race for the final night of Week 2 of the DIRTcar Nationals. You know, so far the 49th season for the World of Outlaws has proven to me more than just a new chapter. It feels like a shift for the sport as eras have ended, landing veterans and free agents in new places. The money continues to reach levels never seen before, and through 2 nights of action, the roster looks like a deck of cards that's been thoroughly shuffled.
Feature action underway in Volusia Speedway Park. Into corner number 1. Buddy Kofoid up high with the race lead. Challenge for second, Anthony Macri trying to take it away from the 23 of Garrett Williamson. Kofoid will lead the opening lap tonight. Macri to the inside, takes the second spot from Garrett Williamson in 1 and 2. Garrett Williamson back to the inside, slides up across the nose of Anthony Macri. Macri able to make the crossover move to retain the second spot. David Gravel now to the inside of Garrett Williamson. Gravel looking for the third spot. Williamson able to fend off that challenge for the moment at least. Donny Schatz into the top 10 from 21st in the first 5 laps. Gravel to the inside, slides up across the nose, the 23 of Garrett Williamson, and now Logan Schuhart makes that a 3-car battle for third in quarter number 4. Williamson, Gravel, and Schuhart duking it out. A little more breathing room for last year's points runner-up. Logan Schuhart sliding up in front of the 23 of Garrett Williamson, and now Logan Schuhart is 4th. Donny Schatz is up to 7th from 21st. Williamson looking to get back to the inside of the Shark Racing 1S. Unable to make that happen in turns 3 and 4. Corner. Gravel looking for the lead down low in turn number 2, and he'll get it. David Gravel, the new race leader. Kofoid now trying to get back to his inside. He'll make that move in turn 3. Gravel trying to cross back underneath him out of turn number 4. At the line, Buddy Kofoid retains the advantage. Kofoid working traffic out of corner number 4, trying to split the lap cars. Brenham Crouch and Scotty Thiel there. Gravel, good down low out of turn number 2. He'll have another run on the leader as they enter corner number 3. Kofoid, the right rear, nearly up against the concrete in turns 1 and 2. Hustles it down the back straightaway for the final time. Into 3 and 4 and down to the checkered flag. Buddy Kofoid gets the win at Volusia Speedway Park. David Gravel will finish in the 2nd spot.
First came Baston on Wednesday, and then Buddy last night. The 24th and 25th different winners at Volusia through 69 series visits. It's produced these Big Gator point standings. Toss Carson Macedo and Anthony Macri in between Kofoid on top and Spencer down in 4th. None of these drivers have claimed the week-long points prize worth an additional $5,000 and oversized alligator trophy. While Logan Schuhart and Donny Schatz are drivers that have won in the past, odds are the immediate future will produce a 9th different Sprint Car Big Gator points champion, probably from the top 4. And if that's not enough firsts this year to satisfy your thirst for new things, well, the first night of series points racing, it's the first time that Buddy Kofoid, work with me here, can officially say he's a World of Outlaw points leader. But if the Penn Grove, California racer has proven anything to us in recent years, see results from the Houston Speedway and the High Bank Nationals, once he figures out the kryptonite, well, he becomes Superman. Looking, though, like anything other than a superhero prior to last night, it would be easy for odds makers and pundits of sprint car racing to produce some long odds that Buddy Kofoid could be that Big Gator guy. A dozen previous appearances with the Roth team at Volusia, Buddy produced top 10 results in only half, with a best finish of 4th. Well, then came 2026. 4th on the opening night, he landed on the front row and not only proved he has the handle on the world's fastest half mile now, he can also hold off one of Volusia Speedway's best in David Gravel.
Yesterday, you know, he came on strong on the bottom, and I couldn't tell if it was actually that good or if it was just my momentum in traffic being hindered. So I went down there, I think once or twice, and didn't really, I couldn't tell if it was any better or worse or the same. So I just got back to the top and just tried to focus on running it harder and try to not make as many mistakes and to, you know, pick off traffic even quicker. And I think kind of what sealed the deal, which at the time I didn't know, was I think I split 2 guys, and I think that kind of put a roadblock there for him and gave me kind of space to breathe a little bit. But I think just getting back to the top and just trying to focus on just perfecting it. But I feel like, to come here and right off the bat get one is, I feel like, even better, obviously, being earlier. But I feel like this is a tough track to win at, and everyone talks about how you can't win a championship here, but it kind of feels like it sets the tone and obviously gets you off on the right foot. And I feel like we're in a good place as far as where we've been the last 2 years with engines and with finishes and everything. So just happy to kind of have that off the back, right away, and just kind of keep focusing on what we're doing and just roll what we've already got now back in the next race.
Now, while most of the coverage this week has been spent on the masterclass performances from Kofoid and Baston, as well as Series Titans David Gravel's spin and comeback last night and Donny Schatz hard charging from the rear, there is one driver quietly stalking the field from the shadows, ready to steal the show. Now, Carson Macedo may be lurking right now, but when the sun sets later tonight, the big gator is within his reach. You can make a case that Carson is the perfect shadow. Twice on the podium this week, including a 9-2 run on night number 1. The Lemoore, California racer is just 4 points back of the 2 in front of him. He doesn't need a miracle, just a mistake. And considering that he and the Jason Johnson team have amassed 52 wins together in their first 5 years, he's also positioned he and his team nicely for the end game, a championship run. So while it seems likely he's lurking in the shadows, obvious but ignored so far this week, you can also say he's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a really good shot. We've had a great car both nights. Been right up in the pointy end. We've actually came back from a little bit of adversity. I don't feel like we qualified quite as good as we should have the first night, and then last night drawing the 7 probably was a little bit ideal, but we're still able to race our way up to the podium both nights. So it makes me feel good about our chances. I think that we've got just as good of a shot as they do, and we'll just try to do our best to get the big gator. I think it'd be really cool to bring it home. Yeah, I think this is the most consistent that we've been. I think that our cars felt consistently good both nights, and throughout the night it's felt that way too. So I'm really thrilled with how it's went. I think that I couldn't be more happy with the way it started, and hopefully we can continue this momentum.
What a time it is to be a DIRTVision pit reporter with the World of Outlaws as Connor Wade joins us now. You always got to be worried about the quiet guy, and I know you're not quiet, but you're just like me. You're taking a look at what Carson Macedo's doing and say, this guy's definitely got a shot tonight. You have to be impressed with what the 41 teams put together so far this weekend, minus the obvious, a win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they're really in the catbird seat to take home this Big Gator Championship. And to be honest with you, I think Carson's had the best car at Volusia this week than he's had at Volusia in the last couple of years. Yes, I know he won a race here last season, but the rest of the week he was, further back in the top 10 and even outside the top 10 some nights. So, it's really impressive that Carson's been able to drive from row 5 onto the podium and then from row 4 onto the podium. You don't see that a ton at Volusia Speedway Park, I feel like, especially in short 25-lap races. Obviously, we've seen a little bit more of it the last couple nights just with how racing the track has been, but nonetheless, doing that is definitely an impressive accomplishment that the 41 team has been able to nail down this week. I think a lot of people obviously pit David and Buddy as the 2 championship favorites for 2026, and I think Carson and JGR feel like they've got something to prove, because all of last year in the early stage of the season, especially going into last season, Carson was the guy that everybody was like, all right, he's going to be the one to challenge David Gravel, and Carson does not want his name out of that conversation just yet.
Well, you came up with a great graphic yesterday showing where Buddy Kofoid fell behind David Gravel last year. So right now it feels like all the attention is definitely on the 2 of them, as David no doubt will come back and try to pick up another Volusia win tonight. So this could be a perfect time for a guy like Carson Macedo to pounce. And after all the struggles last year, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to do that. What do you think he has to overcome if he wants to maintain being in that top 3 balance all season long?
Honestly, I think it's just to finish races, and I can tell you that they're already ahead in that category this week compared to where they were last year. Whenever I went to shoot that interview earlier today, they had the headers off, the hood off of the 41 machine, and they didn't change the motor, but found a couple things with it and did a lot of work on it today to prevent anything catastrophic from happening. So they know that if they're going to win this championship or be in the mix all the way through the World Finals, that they're going to have to finish races, not have as many mechanical issues as they did last season. And so far, I'm very confident that they're ahead in that category.
You gotta love the fact too that he's spending a lot of time now on social media seeing the fruits of that. So yeah, it's going to keep him involved. You know, we've talked a lot this weekend about Donny Schatz, a hard charger, both nights just coming from the back, winning the last chance showdown. It begs the question that everybody's asking, what's he got to do? Obviously start the night better, but there's a reason as they continue to work through some of these growing pains with that new CJB team. What's going on with Donny Schatz that should give all of us Donny Schatz supporters hope that he's going to be just fine in 2026?
Action graphics.
Well, to be honest with you, to talk about the first two nights, people would be surprised he's had as good of a runs as he's had if they knew all the stuff that that team had dealt with early through each of the first two nights. Nothing really with the team. Everybody's bonding great and has great chemistry, but they've had some mechanical failures. A bearing broke on Wednesday night, had to put a new rear end in. We covered that. Last night they had a tire blister and almost delaminate during the heat race. Kind of odd to see a tire do that without a whole lot of laps on it, but that was the case. So Donny with a bad right rear couldn't really go anywhere in the heat race, and then after the last chance showdown in which he won, they had another rear end failure, so had to put a new rear end in yet again before last night's feature as well. So they've been dealing with adversity early on in the night. If they though can have the early stages of the night go well and start a race in the top 10, there's a lot of people that believe Donny Schatz can win this race tonight, and you have to also think that the way this racetrack is going to be at the end of the night will play into his hands. One thing about Donny that impressed me last night is the fact that, the last couple of years, when Donny enters a corner, he's got to stick with the lane he runs. If he enters low, he's got to run there the whole corner. If he enters high, he's got to run the top the whole corner. Now he can enter low and slide up to the cushion. Now he can start high and diamond down to the bottom. And I've not seen Donny Schatz run the top like he has the last two nights within the last 5+ years. So all signs pointing towards a win very soon for that new 15 team.
I also love reading the note that he said he's had more conversations with his team owner in this brief amount of time than perhaps he had in the previous 18 and a half years with his former team owner, who of course will remain nameless. But let's talk a little bit about tonight specifically. The weather's been difficult, it's been challenging, the racetrack has been fast, but tonight the World of Outlaws will actually wrap up the night. And there are some concerns among all the teams out there about how that will be handled this evening. What are those concerns?
Well, the concerns are obviously that, the track's going to lay rubber down in the late stages of the feature. There's going to be 4 last chance showdowns for the modifieds and then a 30-lap feature for the modifieds as well. And obviously, we know how modified tires wear this racetrack out at Volusia Speedway Park. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not just saying this because my employers are the ones doing the track prep, but I've got a lot of confidence in the team working on this racetrack right now. We've seen it. It's laid rubber down a few times, but it's never laid full rubber down. There's been rubber patches of it here and there in different spots, but we've not just seen a full-on rubber down racetrack ever since 2026 opened here at Volusia with this new dirt. So I've got a lot of confidence that they're going to know when they need to work it and prevent that from happening. But I think at the same time, I looked at it as a positive that the sprint cars are going out late. Yes, those modifieds are going to wear this racetrack out, and there's not going to be a lot of grip on the surface whenever the green flag drops in the Outlaw feature. So it's going to be really slick. Guys are going to be sliding around. You're going to see guys good early in the race that fade late because wherever they were finding their grip went away. So I don't know what we're going to see, honestly, come feature time. I think it could be kind of a wild card and kind of a crazy 30 laps, of course, with a lot of money and a Big Gator championship on the line.
Well, consider yourself lucky because time draws short. I was going to put you under the gun to figure out who you think the guys are to watch tonight, but it's probably going to be all the guys that we talked about. Have fun tonight as we wrap up the DIRTcar Nationals portion of the World of Outlaws. That, of course, is Connor Wade. We'll look forward to seeing you again as pre-race continues here in just a little bit. But you know what? Big Gator Championship night isn't only reserved for the World of Outlaws, as the Ironmen of the DCN will also wrap up their epic run at the DIRTcar Nationals. After this quick pit stop, we'll run through Friday night's highlights, take a peek at the Big Gator points as Peyton Williams joins pre-race to help break it all down.
MD3, the most advanced body panels on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looks so good. MD3, the #1 body choice for top dirt racers.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, And pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-Bolts.com. No matter what you race.
New to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. And you know what they say, rules are made to be broken. You in?
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
There's a moment behind the wheel of what I've built, where power overrides gravity, and I hit that zero moment. Zero doubts, zero fear, zero competition. No rule or mold I can't break. And limits, absolutely zero. And there's enough zero sugar to get me there.
It is a beautiful night down at Volusia Speedway Park as you take a look at the sandbox that's been groomed and combed and is ready to go for the finale of week number 2 of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. What's at play out of that sandbox? Well, back here in the studio, you've been seeing it on the desk all weekend long. It's the Baby Gator, and it, of course, is the Championship Gator. A couple of those going to be handed out tonight. You know, all week long, the DIRTcar count at the DIRTcar Nationals has hovered just below the century mark in the UMP Modified Division. Well, last night, the triple digits were secured as the final night of 6 feature races were run, the results of which helped set up tonight's $5,000 to win Big Gator Championship feature. You know, finish in the top 3, good to go. You're automatically transferred. But if you finish first, you got an opportunity, or coming up tonight, to redraw for a spot in the first 3 rows. Let's get you to the highlights. Lined up via the Every Lap Matter format, it was the Big Gator points leader Will Krupp that started first and finished first in his Mullins-powered Elite car. His 8th Baby Gator, the Kruppster, is in tonight's top 6 draw as Tyler nicely edged out Chris Wilson on the white flag lap. They finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. Oakland, Maryland's Mitch Thomas used a mid-race restart to correct an early race mistake and passed Zeke McKenzie, earning his 2nd Baby Gator of the week and 4th of his career in his Hoffman-powered Elite machine. He is also part of tonight's redraw for the first 3 rows, while McKenzie joined David Stremme, also A-main bound. Kyle Strickler got the best of fellow front row starter Chargin' Charlie Mefford in feature number 3. The Baby Gator collection grows to 19 in his Mullins-powered Elite, just 2 behind Nick Hoffman for the most in DCN history. Mefford holds 2nd as Justin Stone uses a restart charge to come home 3rd. With younger brother Evan turned around twice in feature 4, Jordan Kohler kept the family name propped up as he turned up his 3rd win of the week in his Mullins-powered Elite. Cole Charneski and Brad DeYoung secure the other 2 automatic berths. Trevor Neville and Mike McKinney made Friday's feature number 5 perhaps the best of them all as they battled nose to tail almost all 15 laps. Well, using poker terms to give you the finish, Neville is holding a set of 7s. Better than the 9 and the 6. Behind McKinney in 2nd, also headed to the main event, is Tyler Spalding. And last but not least, whatever, whenever, wherever, Ricky Thornton Jr. is just good. All RTJ to wrap the final prelim features as he heads to the redraw, guaranteed to start in the first 3 rows. Cole Falloway and Trent Young also transfer. 8 overall nights of racing with 27 features. Here's the who's who of Gator grabbers at the 2026 DIRTcar UMP modified portion of the DIRTcar Nationals. Headlined, of course, by Ricky Thornton Jr.'s 4 in the modifieds. 15 different names is impressive, but how about the 9 drivers that scored multiple event wins? That's impressive for sure. Unfortunately, though, for RTJ, one bad night and that every lap matters format is what keeps his name from appearing higher in the week-long chase for the extra 5Ks. He's just ahead of 2024 titleist Tyler Nicely at the bottom of the page. But with 4 drivers at the top, separated by 10 points and a part of the redraw, that sets up a tasty scenario where the feature finish and perhaps the tiebreaker could come into play tonight. Well, Peyton Williams is the guy that's got his fingers on the pulse of the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. He joins us now from Volusia Speedway Park. And man, what a weekend it has been for you, just chasing race winners left and right. And now we get to tell the tale of how each one of these guys can perhaps grab that Big Gator Championship. Nobody in the top 4 has done that. Let's start with the veterans. Let's do some rock and roll terms. You can make the argument that Will Krupp in the K9 and Kyle Strickler in the AS, they're the Rolling Stones of the series. They've been here for a while, but for Will Krupp, boy, there's a little revenge after what happened 1 year ago.
Yeah, for Dave, the heartbreak for Will Krupp, and unfortunately you go back to 2025 losing the Big Gator Championship because of a tiebreaker to Kurt Spalding. And of course, Kurt Spalding, the troubles that he's had, not able to defend that title here in 2026. But for Will Krupp, he's been near perfect through 4 nights of racing here in terms of accumulating Big Gator points since Monday night. How about 4 podiums, 2 wins and 2 second-place runs, and now has a 5-point lead atop the point standings. And don't think for a second that there's not any pressure for Will Krupp, because he's yet to do this, although he was so close in 2025. When I talked to him earlier today, though, he was walking through the pit area, had just worked his way back from getting a milkshake, and said that car is as good as he can remember it ever being. And so he likes his chances here tonight. Now the tiebreaker scenario in his favor, one, because he has the 5-point advantage, but also because he's been to victory lane here twice this week. And then for Kyle Strickler, yes, let's group those 2 into the same category in terms of maybe having a little bit more experience. And aside from Nick Hoffman, as you just said, Kyle Strickler just a couple of races shy of becoming the all-time winningest driver in DIRTcar Nationals history. Strickler, whether it's February or it's November, he seems to begin and end his year in victory lane here at the world's fastest half mile. And he had a wry smile on his face in victory lane the other night, said that he was going to drink a lot of beer and continue to raise a lot of hell. And since then, Kyle Strickler's been on the front stretch a couple of more times. And so I think advantage Strickler here at the world's fastest half mile in terms of drivers that have had the most laps, but you got to think experience could definitely play a factor with some of these drivers ensuring a win last night to lock themselves into starting in one of the front 3 rows here tonight.
Before we get to the other 2 drivers, let's quickly talk about Kyle Strickler again. Just 2 behind Nick Hoffman all time. Does that number, trying to get to 21, which for a while it looked like he could possibly get there this week, of course, Thursday's rainout canceled that, but what kind of a motivating factor is that for Kyle Strickler, and how do you think Nick Hoffman feels about that?
Well, it's interesting you say that because, of course, Nick Hoffman's on property each and every year. He's got so many customers with Elite Chassis Racing here, over 100 race cars on property over the course of the DIRTcar Nationals. But for Kyle Strickler, I don't think Tickle's going to slow down anytime soon, and I think that number will be achieved over the next couple of years. And we never know, maybe Nick Hoffman will decide to get back out onto the racing surface with the DIRTcar UMP modified competitors. He hot lapped for Kenny Wallace the other night, and so, of course, he knows his way around this racetrack better than anybody else. But Mother Nature, of course, putting a halt to Kyle Strickler getting to that number at least in 2026. But the way Tickle gets around Volusia Speedway Park, you would definitely think that that's a number that's definitely obtainable, maybe even in 2027. But definitely a motivating factor if Tickle can have his name at the top of any record book.
No doubt a story already for next year. But first, let's talk about the other side, the 3rd and 4th place drivers in the Big Gator Points Chase. Let's call them the new kids on the block. We're talking about the relative newcomers in Jordan Kohler and Trevor Neville. Yeah, he's got a lot of Hell Tour experience, but these are guys that maybe aren't as well equipped as the top 2 guys we talked about just a moment ago. Still have a shot, though.
Yeah, let's start with Trevor Neville in the 777. Another win last night, and He was one of the very few drivers, perhaps the only driver, Dave, to maybe critique the racing surface here at Volusia Speedway Park, a little bit earlier in the week. But nonetheless, he's been able to pick up a couple of Gators here now, a tally of 5 over the course of his career. And, of course, we do see him on the DIRTcar Summer Nationals quite a bit from Mackinac, Illinois. And coming down to the southeast, this racing surface, just not the exact same of what he's used to when he's racing in the Midwest. And so it's not that he doesn't have the experience, he just doesn't have his name as high up on the list in terms of Little Gators, and of course is yet to win the DIRTcar Nationals Championship here in Barberville, Florida. I think the story of the week, though, Dave, has been not just Jordan Kohler, but Kohler Motorsports. Of course, Jordan Kohler carrying the banner for that team with 3 wins here this week, and just 5 points away in the second spot from being atop the Big Gator standings. And it's a completely different dynamic for him. He's under no pressure whatsoever. Of course, he's got the jitters of this potentially being the biggest race of his career, but to make the drive down from Mount Airy, North Carolina, after how his DCN unfolded in 2025, he's been down here since Sunshine Nationals in the final week of January. Now 3 Little Gators here in 2026, and of course the tiebreaker is the amount of wins, and so it's just 1 spot on track. So I said last night, he controls his own destiny, and he does exactly that. If he can beat Will Krupp by a spot here tonight, of course Kyle Strickler will have something to say about that as well. But basically the goal is simple if you're Jordan Kohler. Win the race tonight, lift the Big Gator Championship a little bit later on. And so 2 completely different dynamics, 4 really fast race cars that potentially have one hand on the trophy, trying to get the second one after 30 laps around the world's fastest half mile tonight.
Yeah, that's the biggest deal. Just make sure you're there at the end, keep your nose clean, and then the last 4 or 5 laps, just make sure you put yourself in a good shot to finish as high, if not win the race. I feel like we're in a good spot. See how this redraw shakes out. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, I mean, just being there at the end is the biggest thing. So just keep your nose clean. Obviously, make the right adjustments when we're out on the racetrack. So yeah, just try to be there.
Like I know we've got a few more laps tonight, so hopefully we got it where we can move around on the racetrack. Oh, the racetrack's pretty good. I don't as long as we're closer, if we can be on the pole or up front, it'd definitely help. But hopefully we'll take what we can get and what we can get with it. It would definitely be out there other than the late model stuff, but no, it would be really huge for us, especially in our modified program. We're just gonna give it our best shot, see what we got, and it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Leading up to this stuff, it's kind of just been make sure your car is decent and try some stuff, and then prepare for what we can for tonight. So tonight's the big night with the big money and that Big Gator. So we've worked on our car all week. It started out not so great, and kind of went back to the notebook and worked with a bunch of my guys, and got the car pretty balanced last night. So we've been on different tires all week. So we'll see what everybody's going to do for this big feature here with being more laps. So I think some of that will play into it as well.
Yeah, we come down here last year, we ran really good. We were, like you said, real consistent. Rolling into tonight, I got high expectations, but you know what? There's 100 cars down here. God never knows what's going to happen. We're going to start up front, but no, brand new car blues, been fine-tuning all week on it, and then David's been helping out, and he's been helping out, so we'll be all right.
But Peyton Williams, while the focus is on the championship 4, there's going to be a fly in the ointment, of course, that can screw the whole thing up for one of them, perhaps all of them. Who do you think that driver potentially is? And there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, Dave, plenty to choose from. As we said, over 100 cars on property, but might be the easy answer. He's the winningest driver since the DIRTcar Nationals started, but Ricky Thornton Jr., the Arizona native, racing in the Southeast here. Of course, he was back here during Sunshine Nationals. Will be racing next week with the World of Outlaws late models, but 4 Little Gators here. Entering 2026, Dave, he only had 1 start with the DIRTcar UMP modified competitors. That came back in 2021. So here, 5 years later, now winning 4 Little Gators. And just a nugget to keep in mind, he's racing for Kohler Motorsports. By no means is he going to get out of the way leading the race if Jordan Kohler's behind him, but he could be a friend and an ally to Jordan Kohler and make the job that much tougher on Kyle Strickler as well as Trevor Neville as well.
He's the busiest pit reporter in the business. Peyton Williams, thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing how this is all going to play out. That and, of course, the sprint cars. We'll see you back here again with more pre-race in just a little bit. And with that, well, the countdown is into its final minutes, which gives us a chance to pay a couple bills, pop some corn, grab an Aus energy drink, and slide into the easy chair as pre-race in the first set of hot laps on Big Gator Championship night, week number 2 from the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals continues from Volusia Speedway Park in just a moment.
The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws!
Only the best go 3 abreast. It's the American Sprint Car Series. Coming to Central Arizona Raceway this month.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
March 1st and 2nd, World of Outlaws Bike Week Jamboree at Volusia Speedway Park. Get your tickets today at worldofoutlaws.com or call 844-DIRT-TICKS. Be there.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Welcome in to the final night of the 2026 Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series as week 2 of DCN concludes tonight at Volusia Speedway Park, a Big Gator Championship handed out. Welcome to the pit area here at Volusia Speedway Park, where the night is already troublesome for sophomore with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, Carson Macedo. You do not see the 2C Racing car number 2C behind me right now. During engine heat, the car fired off, made a big pop from the rear end, and all the studs on the rear end broke on that number 2C machine, and that sent the 2C team thrashing to repair the rear end, put a new rear end in just prior to hot laps here at Volusia Speedway Park. So while everybody else is on the horn and about to roll towards the staging area for hot laps, the 2C is somewhere way back near the Gator Pond in the pit area, way back in the pit area here, just now putting heat in the engine for the first time. So the 2C team already behind the 8-ball here to start the night. Credit to Wayne Johnson and everybody a part of 2C Racing. They got that rear end change done pretty quickly, but definitely a troublesome start to the evening for Cole Macedo. I talked to Wayne Johnson, and he said he has absolutely no idea how something like that would happen. The studs just falling off the rear end and the whole rear end breaking whenever they were just firing off for engine heat. So a bit of a puzzling incident, but hopefully nothing that hinders the 2C's night to this point. Let's talk about the other Macedo brother in the field tonight, the car that's over my left shoulder in Carson Macedo, who's just 2 points out of a Big Gator championship here this evening as he tries to battle with Buddy Kofoid for that prize. Macedo with 2 podium finishes to this point in the week. And I want to talk a little bit about Carson Macedo and his championship expectations for 2026. Obviously, people talk about Kofoid and gravel, but Carson Macedo wants to be in that conversation as well. I got to thinking about another Central California driver, a good mentor and friend for Carson Macedo his entire career, the one that actually told Phil Dietz to put Carson in the JGR 41 several years ago, and that's Jason Myers. Jason Myers won his first of 2 World of Outlaws championships in his 8th season with the Outlaws. Just so happens that this year, Carson Macedo is entering his 8th season with the World of Outlaws Not Synergy Drink Sprint Car Series, and if you compare the two's numbers through their first 7 seasons with the Outlaws, Carson actually beats Jason in just about every category. 58 wins compared to 37. Macedo entering his age 30 season as opposed to Myers, who was in his age 31 season that year. Both of them have finished as high as second in points. So the 8th year was the magic year for Jason Myers. He got his first World of Outlaws championship. That was back in 2011. And Carson entering his 8th season has already accomplished more than Myers did in some ways, according to that graphic as you saw. The next step, of course, for Carson is to try and win a championship in 2026. So perhaps we'll see another Central California champion with the Outlaws this season. Just some interesting numbers that I found a couple of weeks ago that I thought, especially with Jason having mentored Carson early in his career, was an interesting comparison. DIRTcar Modifieds also on the card. We talked about them during the pre-race show with Dave Reef back in the studio. Here's Peyton Williams once again with more on the DIRTcar Modifieds as Peyton, the mod guys, the Ironman of DCN, going for a Big Gator tonight.
Thanks, Connor. The end of a long week and a half for the DIRTcar UMP modified competitors here at Volusia Speedway Park. Year after year, it seems that these drivers are coining the Ironman, and rightfully so. A very unique format. Remember, it's not just the Big Gator, of course, that's on the line tonight, but these drivers have been racing since early last week in the state of Florida for Florida Speed Weeks and in every lap matters format. So a very unique format for these drivers, but it all commences here tonight with the Big Gator. And let's first take a look at Saturday's format. Of course, we have different formats over the course of the week and a half. Last week we saw some heat racing in 1 feature. Most of the nights this week we saw 6 features. Tonight we're going to have 4 10-lap last chance showdowns for the drivers that did not lock into tonight's 30-lap feature. The top 3 from each of the 6 features last night locked into tonight. The top 2, or excuse me, the drivers that finish first will redraw for starting positions 1 through 6, and the drivers that finish second in each feature will start in positions 7 through 12. So still a lot to race for here this evening, but also one driver to keep an eye on is Ricky Thornton Jr. His first full DIRTcar Nationals effort here in 2026, and he's the winningest driver to show up to Barberville, Florida. 4 wins in the last 8 nights of racing. He's been on the podium 5 times and in the top 5 on 6 occasions. Won a couple of heats and posted quick time a couple of times as well, and of course is carrying the banner for Kohler Motorsports alongside the brothers Jordan and Evan Kohler. And so you like to think that potentially there's a numbers advantage up towards the front of the field here tonight. 30 laps around the world's fastest half mile, $5,000, and a Big Gator, handing out to our champion here tonight. But Connor, not just the Big Gator for the modifieds, of course the World of Outlaws sprint cars here getting ready to take to the world's fastest half mile here tonight.
It is really one of the centerpieces of Florida in February each and every winter that we get to see both the World of Outlaws Not Synergy Drink Sprint Car Series and the stars of the DIRTcar Modifieds both race with a Big Gator on the line. So going to be a lot of excitement around the world's fastest half mile here tonight. The greatest show on dirt, about ready to push on track for hot laps. We'll kick things up to the Hall of Fame voice of the series, John Gibson, in the booth. And John, to start things with you, an update on the 2C of Cole Macedo, who I talked about a couple of minutes ago. The car now in the pit area, running everything in one piece. It seems like Macedo's night should be able to start off on the right foot, at least in terms of hot laps and qualifying.
Yeah, good news for the driver of the 2C Motorsports Motorsports entry, and better news, he still has some time because he is in the second flight of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, so still some time to get everything buttoned up and ready to go as we push off the first of 3 race-ready hot lap sessions for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. We look at one of our Kevin Gobrecht Award presented by 5-Star Body Contenders making his way down the backstretch from Glendale, Arizona in the Pels Tire Service Newman's Racing Engine, Smith Titanium XXX Shark Racing. Number 1A, it's Ashton Torgerson. And the 10-time World of Outlaws champion from Fargo, North Dakota, aboard the Nice Creed Atlantis Block Absolute Automation and Security, FuelPools.com, JRC Transportation, High Performance Lubricants, number 15, Donny Schatz. From Findlay, Ohio, in the Kistler Racing Engine, Smith Titanium, Maxim Racing, Lucius Trucking, Big Red Truck Wash, number 32, Bryce Lucius. And from Sunnyvale, Texas, the Prime Powders, Town Line Variety, Bear Paw Convenience, Keebler & Sons Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, High Performance Lubricants, number 15H of Sam Haferteep Jr. Another World of Outlaws rookie in 2026 from McLarenville, South Australia, aboard the Indy Performance Composites Rod End Supply Maxim Chassis, High Performance Lubricants, TJ Forge, number 51, Scott Boguski. And from Alveda, Ohio, driving the Ohio Logistics Truck Works of Ohio, number 15K, Creed Kemanaugh. And a 4-time Knoxville Raceway champion from Altoona, Iowa, the Country Builders Construction, Achoka West Tucker Trucking, Ophil Family, number 88, the big unit, Austin McCarroll. Those are the drivers scheduled for the first hot lap session, brought to you by Race Ready for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Green flag waving on Race Ready hot lap session at number 1. Times will begin to appear on our monitor here in the tower momentarily. We've seen over the first couple of nights of World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series action. The track starts off fairly slippery, so lap times now only in the low 16-second bracket. We expect that to get down closer to the 14 and 13-second range before we begin Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. A couple of drivers now in the 15s, including Donny Schatz, who is fastest so far at a 15.560. So we wave the yellow flag. We'll allow the drivers to do some slow wheel packing. We've seen this recently as well. And again, the lap times often improve by more than a full second after just a couple of laps of slow wheel packing. Right now, Donny Schatz, the fastest driver in race-ready hot laps at 15.560. Scott Boguski second at a 15.974. Then Sam Haferteep, Bryce Lucius, and Ashton Torgerson completing the top 5. Great to have Jacob Allen back on the road with the World of Outlaws as the car owner and crew chief for Ashton Torgerson in that Shark Racing 1A. And another of our rookie contenders, Scott Boguski out of McLarenville, South Australia, the Three Stooges Racing number 51. Bryce Lucius on Wednesday evening, driver that number 32, got his career best finish at Volusia Speedway Park. Lucius coming home in the 17th position here on Wednesday evening, the best of his 8 appearances here at the world's fastest half mile. Caution lights about to go out. We will resume race ready hot lap session number 1. back under green flag conditions. Donny Schatz turning a 15.210. Austin McCarl into the 14s at a 14.996. Sam Hafertepe 14.903. Boguski 14.8. 4 drivers down into the 14-second bracket as the checkered flag is displayed for race ready hot lap session number 1. And Sam Hafertepe, as he crosses under that checkered flag, moves to the top of the speed chart. Donny Schatz into the 2nd spot. Fastest driver in race ready hot lap session number 1, Sam Hafertepe Jr. in the 15H. His lap time 14.719 seconds. Average speed 103.947 miles per hour. Donny Schatz second quick at a 14.816. Scott Boguski third. Austin McCarl fourth. And Ashton Torgerson rounding out the top 5. Drivers in that race-ready hot lap session bring their cars into the infield where they will stage for our first flight of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. And as group number 1 makes their qualifying preparations, race-ready hot lap session at number 2, rolling into staging on the backstretch, led onto the racing surface by the 2025 NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals champion from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, driving the all-by-your alternative Citgo CP Excavating Raw Machinery Joel Pigeon Trucking. Number 10, it's Ryan Timms. From East Grand Forks, Minnesota, the Proceed Ekman Dental Arts, JW Repair, Phil Thompson Associates AgServe G5, the Bandit, Gage Polk-Quebec. And to his outside, from Monrovia, Indiana, driving the Skagit Speedway Race Routine Foundation, Stancraft Jet Centers, Hager Realty Services, Routine Management, number 26, the driver is Justin Peck. The 2025 Kevin Gobrecht Award winner for Rookie of the Year honors with the World of Outlaws from Columbia, Missouri. The SNS Nationwide CSC Group LRI Eagle Stop Easy Gaming, Dave Smith GMC Retrieving Freedom number 23. That is Garrett Williamson. And from Dunnville, Ontario, Canada, piloting the Nitro 54 Sitting Bull Tire, Ackland Insurance, JR's Waterproofing, number 15T, Ryan Turner. 2-time and defending World of Outlaws champion from Watertown, Connecticut, in the ShopHouston's.com, BillionAuto.com, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC Transportation, Jackson Motorplex, number 2, David Gravel. And another contender for the Kevin Gobrecht Award presented by 5 Star Bodies in 2026 from Franklin, Indiana, the WCI Petrie Excavating KPM number 27 of Emerson Axum. Push trucks in position, ready to get cars underway for race ready hot lap session number 2. Caution on the speedway, car slowing on the front stretch. Justin Peck Aberdeen Racing, number 26. Justin Peck, difficulties here on Wednesday evening, trying to get that car up to speed. Last night, much better, an 8th place finish in the feature. Justin Peck's machine into the infield. Crew will go to work on that number 26. In the meantime, we get set to wave the green flag once again on Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 2. David Gravel, the first driver, into the 13-second range here this evening. He's just turned a 13.956. Garrett Williamson into the second spot at a 14.269. Gravel faster his second time by at a 13.821 and 110.701 miles per hour. Checkered flag waving on Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 2. One driver into the 13-second bracket in Race Ready Hot Laps. That is David Gravel in car number 2. A lap time 13.821. Garrett Williamson, second fastest now, just missing the 13s at a 14.004. Emerson Axum third at a 14.259. Then Sam Haferteep and Ryan Timms completing the top 5 so far after 2 of 3 Race Ready Hot Lap sessions for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. We're continuing on the Skagit Speedway 26 for driver Justin Peck. In the meantime, we begin staging the cars for Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 3. First driver out from York, Pennsylvania in the Mountain Ridge Metal, David Hohenschild Welding, GL Capital, Glenville Station, Pub and Grub, Traco Manufacturing, number 23D, Chase Dietz. Also on the Speedway from Myerstown, Pennsylvania, the Fenton Marks Racing Development, McGrewBid.com, Babs Paints, Livewire Customs, number 19 of Brent Marks. Last night's feature winner rolls into staging at the end of the backstretch from Pengrove, California, driving the Toyota Racing Mobile One, Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation, number 83, Buddy Kofoid. And from Jonestown, Pennsylvania, the Moose's LZ Bar and Grill, Heavy Equipment, Loader Parts, Milton Hershey School, Adamski Trucking, High Performance Lubricants, number 3Z, of Brock Zierfoss. From Worcester, Ohio, in the NOS Energy Drink, Precision Underground Utilities, Iowa Contracting, Royal Flooring, at number 18, Sheldon Hodenshield. And from Lubbock, Texas, piloting the Horizon Whiskey, Nice Creed, Atlantis Block, PhilPools.com, High Performance Lubricants, Carbon Safety Technologies, number 5, Brenham Crouch. And the native of North Pole, Alaska, now living in Heartland, Wisconsin, the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Wayne Carini CPA's Herbal Concrete, Rocky Bacoco of Sheboygan, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog. Third and final Race Ready Hot Lap session for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying here at Volusia Speedway Park for the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. Word we get from the infield, broken throttle linkage. You can see it right there on that Garrett Racing engine for Justin Peck. The crew attempting to replace the throttle linkage, but that was the issue that forced Peck into the infield. It means he will not get any race-ready hot laps before they roll onto the speedway for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. See if anybody else can join David Gravel in the 13-second range. Chase Deeds closest so far to 14.218. Buddy Kofoid into the 13s at a 13.927. Sheldon Hodgkill 13-second lap as well at a 13.964. Kofoid even faster, but still just a tick behind David Gravel with a 13.850. Brenham Crouch now into the third spot at a 13.945. Buddy Kofoid, the fastest driver in that final race-ready hot lap session, second quickest overall in this flight with a 13.850. David Gravel quickest at a 13.821. Kofoid in the second spot, Brenham Crouch third, Sheldon Hodgkill fourth, and Garrett Williamson rounding out the top five. Then Brock Zierfoss sixth, Brent Marks seventh, Bill Baylog eighth, Chase Dietz ninth, and Emerson Axum rounding out the top 10. Set for the first flight of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 2 drivers at a time on the speedway, 2 laps on the clock. Faster of those 2 laps scored as that driver's official qualifying time for tonight's race program, and we'll use those Honest Abe Roofing qualifying times to line up our heat races this evening, as well as the front row of the Microlight Last Chance Showdown. First 2 drivers getting underway. From Alveda, Ohio, driving the Ohio Logistics Truck Works of Ohio 15K, it's Creed Kavanaugh. And from Findlay, Ohio, the Kistler Racing Engine, Smith Titanium, Maxim Racing, Lucius Trucking, Big Red Truck Wash number 32 of Bryce Lucius. Creed Kavanaugh in 15K, Bryce Lucius in car number 32. Lap number 1 goes in the books for Creed Kavanaugh. It's a 14.122.14.122. Lucius on lap 1. Quick time at a 13.451.13.451. Second lap for Kavanaugh, better 14.03.114.031. Lucius on lap 2 goes 13.690. His opening lap 13.451, setting the mark in the first pairing of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Next 2 drivers out from Altoona, Iowa, in the Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West Tucker Trucking Oathville family number 88, the big unit, Austin McCarl. And the Rookie of the Year contender from McLaren Vale, South Australia, driving the Indy Performance Composites Rod End Supply Maxim High Performance Lubricants TJ Forge, number 51, Scott Boguski. Austin McCarl in 88, Scott Boguski in car number 51. Opening lap for the big unit. Quick time at a 13.434.13.434. Boguski's opening lap, 13.603.13.603. McCarl on lap 2, better at a 13.415.13.415. And for Scott Boguski, his second lap improves as well, 13.471.13.471. Austin McCarl now at the top of the speed chart. A pair of number 15s roll onto the speedway now, led out by the defending ASCS national champion from Sunnyvale, Texas, the Prime Powders, Townline Variety, Bear Pocket Meetings, Keebler & Sons, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, High Performance Lubricants 15H of Sam Haferteep Jr., and the 10-time World of Outlaws champion from Fargo, North Dakota, the Nice Queen Atlantis Block, Absolute Automation and Security, FuelPools.com, JRC Transportation, High Performance Lubricants number 15 of Donny Schatz. Sam Haferteep, 15H, Donny Schatz in the straight, number 15. Haferteep's opening lap is second quick at a 13.450.13.450. Donny Schatz on lap number 1 goes 5th quick at a 13.602, 13602. Second lap for Hafer team, quick time, 13.346, 13346. Donny Schatz better, but still 5th in the order at a 13.536, 13536. Leading the next group onto the Speedway, rookie contender from Glendale, Arizona, the Pels Tire Service, Newman's Racing Engine, Smith Titanium, XXX Shark Racing, 1A of Ashton Torgerson. And with him from Dunnville, Ontario, the Nitro 54 Sitting Bull Tire Ackland Insurance Shares, Waterproofing 15T of Ryan Turner. Ashton Torgerson in 1A, Ryan Turner in 15T. Torgerson 9th on Wednesday, 23rd here last night. Turner's best finish came Wednesday, 6th in the C main. Lap 1 for Torgerson, 6th quick, 13.830, 13830. First lap time for Ryan Turner will be a 13.865, 13865. Ashton Torgerson's second lap time, better, 13.739, 13739. And for Ryan Turner, second lap time is 13.897. First lap just a tick better at 13.865. Knoxville Nationals champion and World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year in 2025. Next onto the Speedway from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the all-ball-year alternative Citgo CP Excavating Raw Machinery Joe Pigeon Trucking number 10 of Ryan Timms. And from Columbia, Missouri, the SNS Nationwide CSC Group LRI Eagle Stop Easy Gaming David Smith GMC Retrieving Freedom number 23 of Garrett Williamson. Ryan Timms in 10, Garrett Williamson in 23. Timms on lap number 1. Second quick, 13.378, 13378. First time by for Garrett Williamson. Fourth quick at a 13.446, 13446. Second lap for Ryan Timms, 13.548. First lap better at 13.378 for Garrett Williamson. The second lap is quick time. 13.265, 13265, quick time for Garrett Williamson. Next two out. From Franklin, Indiana, the WCIP Tree Excavating KPM number 27 of Emerson Axum, and the two-time defending series champion from Watertown, Connecticut, in the Houston Speedway, BillionAuto.com, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC Transportation, Jackson Motorplex, number 2, David Gravel. Emerson Axum in 27, David Gravel in the number 2. Axum's opening lap is fourth quick, 13.391, 13391. David Gravel's opening lap is quick time at a 13.116, 13116. Axum on lap 2 up to third quick at a 13.273, 13273. David Gravel's second lap time, faster, nearly into the 12s. He goes 13.056, 13056, 117.188 miles per hour for the average speed. Next two drivers out for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. From East Grand Forks, Minnesota, the Proceed Ekman Dental Arts, JW Repair, Phil Thompson Associates, AgServe, G5, the Bandit, Gage, Polk, Quebec. And along with Polk, Quebec, from Monrovia, Indiana, the Skagit Speedway Race Redeem Foundation, Stancraft Jet Centers, Hager Realty Services, Redeem Management, number 26 of Justin Peck. First lap for Gage, Polk, Quebec, 14.542, 14542. Justin Peck, 10th quick on lap 1, 13.571, 13571. Second lap time for Polk, Quebec improves, 13.807, 13807. Peck's second lap, 13.627. First lap official at 13.571. From York, Pennsylvania, driving the Mountain Ridge Metal, David Hohenschildt Welding, GL Capital, Glenville Station, Pub and Grub, Traco Manufacturing, number 23D, Chase Dietz. And from Jonestown, Pennsylvania, driving the Moose's LZ Bar and Grill, Heavy Equipment Loader Parts, Milton Hershey School, Adamski Trucking, High Performance Lubricants, number 3Z, Brock Zierfoss. Chase Dietz, 23D, Brock Zierfoss in the 3Z. First lap time for Chase Dietz. Second quick, 13.220, 13220. Zierfoss on lap 1, fifth quick, 13.280, 13280. Chase Dietz on lap number 2. 13.257, first lap better, 13.220. Brock Zierfoss completing his second lap, and the time will be a 13.408. His first lap will be official at 13.280. Last night's feature winner leads the next pair of Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers to the Speedway. From Pengrove, California, driving the Toyota Racing Mobile One Roth Motorsports Roth Enterprises HR Livestock Transportation number 83, Buddy Kofoid. And from Worcester, Ohio, the NOS Energy Drink Precision Underground Utilities Iowa Contracting Royal Flooring number 18 of Sheldon Hot and Shield. Buddy Kofoid in the 83 Sheldon Hot and Shield in car number 18. First lap for Buddy, 6th quick, 13.293, 1.3293. Sheldon on lap 1, 3rd quick, 13.253, 1.3253. Kofoid on lap 2, 13.373, first lap official, 13.293. Sheldon Hot and Shield's second lap time, 13.298, first lap, 13.253, third quick for Sheldon Hot and Shield. From Lubbock, Texas, behind the wheel of the Horizon Whiskey, Nice Creed, Atlantis Block, PhilPools.com, High Performance Lubricants, Carbon Safety Technologies, number 5, Brenham Crouch. And from Myerstown, Pennsylvania, the Fenton Marks Racing Development, McGrewBid.com, Bass Paints, Live Wire Customs, number 19, of Brent Marks. Caution on the speedway. Push truck unable to get off the racing surface. We'll get the driver slowed down, make sure the track is clear, and get everybody back underway. Just a couple more cars left in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. David Gravel, quickest so far, 13.056. Chase Dietz, second. Sheldon Hodgeshield, third. Garrett Williamson, fourth. And Emerson Axum rounding out the top 5. Set for the green flag. Brenham Crouch's 17th place finish here last night. His best in World of Outlaws action at Volusia Speedway Park. Brent Marks, best finish here, a second place run in 2022. He was 26th here on Wednesday evening. Lap 1 for Crouch, 10th quick, 13.383, 1.3283. Brent Marks on lap 1 goes 7th fastest, 13.282, 1.3282. Crouch up to 6th quick on lap 2 at a 13.279, 1.3279. Third quick for Brent Marks at a 13.220, 1.3220. Brent Marks third quickest as the final Honest Abe Roofing qualifier for Flight A rolls onto the speedway. He's a native of North Pole, Alaska, who now calls Heartland, Wisconsin home. He drives the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Wayne Carini CPA, Zerbal Concrete, Rocky Rococo of Sheboygan, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog. Bill Baylog in the 17B. Baylog 27th here on Wednesday evening and 12th here last night. 18 career starts at Volusia Speedway Park. Best finished 6th here last year. Opening lap for Bill Baylog, 13.598, 1.3598. 3 of his 4 career World of Outlaws feature wins came last season. Second lap time for Baylog, up to 6th quick at a 13.268, 1.3268. That wraps up Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. David Gravel fastest at a 13.056, 117.188 miles per hour. Chase Dietz second at a 13.220. Brent Marks third, also with a 13.220. And we break the tie by going to the other lap, the non-tied lap. Whichever lap faster breaks that tie. So Chase Dietz scored second, Brent Marks third. Sheldon Hodgeshield fourth, and Garrett Williamson rounding out the top 5. Bill Baylog 6th, Emerson Axum 7th, Brenham Crouch 8th, Brock Zierfoss 9th, and Buddy Kofoid rounding out the top 10. Downstairs to the infield and Connor Wade.
David Gravel is 3 for 3 in his qualifying flights so far this season. David, track's going to change a lot tonight. Modifieds are out first, both before our heat races and before our feature. Are you guys prepared for that change in the racetrack?
Yeah, you just got to take the punches as they come, but a lot of grip in the track there. I feel like kind of the wettest it's been for qualifying, and the car felt flawless right there. I thought my second lap was as close to a perfect lap as you could have. The car drove itself, and these Morris engines are hitting hard. So another good start tonight. Now we just got to capitalize.
You know, Johnny, when people talk about the greatest qualifier of all time, Joey Saldana's a name that often pops up, Paul McMahon probably as well, and I'm not right now necessarily taking a side on who I think is the best of all time in qualifying, but I do believe with everything David Gravel's done the last couple of years, but really all throughout his career, that he's in that conversation.
Yeah, definitely so. And you go back a little farther, you think about drivers like Andy Hillenberg, who was a fantastic qualifier in his day as well, but you're right, David Gravel really setting the standard in this modern era of World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series qualifying. We raced here Wednesday evening, but no series championship points on the line. It was basically a paid practice session for all of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series drivers. We opened up the point standings last night, and Buddy Kofoid with that feature win on top of the current World of Outlaws standings, with David Gravel in the second spot, Carson Macedo third, then Anthony Macri and Logan Schuart rounding out the top five. Those are the season championship points for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Of course, they battle for the Big Gator Championship, the overall 3 nights of sprint car competition here. So we'll take a look at the Big Gator points coming in to this evening's action. Buddy Kofoid, last night's feature winner, your Big Gator points leader with 292 points. Carson Macedo just 2 points behind him with 290. Anthony Macri in the third spot with 286. Spencer Baston fourth, and Logan Schuart rounding out the top five. Then it's Donny Schatz in the sixth spot, Garrett Williamson seventh, Ryan Timms eighth, Cole Macedo ninth, and David Gravel in 10th. There's still a lot to be decided as we begin staging the drivers for Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 1 for Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. From Northport, Florida, driving the Oswego Speedway GSR chassis, Glenn Stires Racing number 0D, it's Danny Sams III. And a Kevin Gobrecht Award presented by 5-Star Bodies, contender in 2026 from LaGrange, Ohio, and the Hellraiser Jacks Mr. Heater, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Heat Star Simpson Race Products, number 6, Casey Jedrzejek. From Bradenton, Florida, in the Tubba Tiles, Emily Oil, Hellraiser Jacks, Mesilla Valley Transportation, All-Star Performance, number 28, M. Connor Morrell. And from Indianapolis, Indiana, driving the NOS Energy Drink, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Spire Motorsports, Brandt Professional Agriculture, Gainbridge, number 7, BC, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. From Lemoore, California, the 2C Racing Outlaw Wings, Wedge High Performance Carts, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Level Utilities, number 2C, Cole Macedo. And from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, piloting the Weichert's Livestock, RV 4-wheel drive, SpeedwayCars.com, York Excavating, number 48, it's Danny Dietrich. And from Higginsville, Missouri, the Casey's FVP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Disfeld Transfer, Wilkerson Crane Rental, number 21 of Blackjack, Brian Brown. Engine set to come to life. Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 1 for the drivers in Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Green and go to begin. Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 1 for Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Connor Morello 13.363. Danny Dietrich 13.646. Brian Brown now second at a 13.389. Checkered flag waves on this race-ready hot lap session. Fastest driver in that group, Connor Morell in car number 28M. A lap time of 13.363 seconds, 114.495 miles per hour for the average speed. Brian Brown second quick, 13.389. Tyler Courtney third, then Danny Dietrich fourth, and Cole Macedo rounding out the top five. Group 1 into the infield, group number 2 rolling to staging on the backstretch. From Sand Springs, Oklahoma, the Michael Dutcher Motorsports Lifestyle Homes Big Rig Repair Service of Indiana, Parallax, number 17 GP of Hank Davis. And another World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year contender in 2026 from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, driving the Gibbsville Cheese, Scott Thiel Builders, Flint Trucking, CMR Wholesale Tools, Professional Plating number 16C. That's the big wheel, Scotty Thiel. Feature winner here on Wednesday evening from Lebanon, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting Tag Truck Center, ZMAX Stanton Racing Engines, number 17, Spencer Paston. And from Canton, Illinois, the NOS Energy Drink King Racing Products, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, High Performance Lubricants, Phillips and Tosco Developers, number 7S of Chris Wyndham. From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, in the J&S Classics, Randy Shearer Heating and Plumbing, DMS Trash number 39M, the Concrete King, Anthony Macri. And from Jacksonville, Oregon, driving the Avanti Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Big Spring Car Wash, Water Treatment by Design, Juniata Concrete number 13, Tanner Holmes. From Lemoore, California, the all-value alternative, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tarleton and Sun Sage Family, Scott Boyd Family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions, number 41, Carson Macedo. Race Ready Hot Laps, session number 2 for the drivers in Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing Qualifying. Set for the green flag on this green-white checkered race-ready hot lap session. Chris Wyndham at a 13.720. Anthony Macri to the top of the speed chart. Macri turns a 13.313. Carson Macedo just behind him in second now. Macri even faster at a 13.197. Macedo quicker as well at a 13.287. Hank Davis up to third as we wave the checkered flag. Fastest driver in that race-ready hot lap session. Quickest overall for Flight B so far, Anthony Macri in the 39M at 13.197 seconds. Carson Macedo second, 13.287. Hank Davis third, Connor Morrell fourth, and Brian Brown rounding out the top five. And from that shot from the DIRTVision drone, you can see just the shape of the backstretch at Volusia Speedway Park. I call it a back arc because there's nothing straight about it. Basically, the drivers are turning from the time they get to turn 1 until they exit corner number 4. As the sun begins to sink behind the trees on the west end of Volusia Speedway Park. We wrap up the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series portion of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals, but that does not mean that sprint car action has concluded for the DIRTcar Nationals. USAC traditional sprint cars, part of the program here on Monday and Tuesday evening, joined by the DIRTcar UMP late models. Final race-ready hot lap session staging on the backstretch from Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Federated Auto Parts, Duramax, Mark Martin Motors, TKS Concrete, Shark Racing number 1S, that is Logan Schuchart. And to his inside from Ankeny, Iowa, in the higher view, IntelliSense Heartland Steel, C&D Elevator Construction number 44, Chris Martin. On the outside of that row from Kokomo, Indiana, driving the Indy Race Parts, Wood Racing Products engines, chalk sticks and Schroeder Torsion Bars, Elite Wings number 71, Parker Price Miller. From Ankeny, Iowa, the higher view, IntelliSense Heartland Steel, C&D Elevator Construction number 4 of Cameron Martin. And from Liverpool, Pennsylvania, driving the Village Square Plaza Mountain View Travel, high-tech metal Smith Titanium number 11, TJ Stutz. From Locust Grove, Oklahoma, in the Casey Kane Racing with Mike Curb, Napa Auto Parts, Brumos Collection, Ballard Incorporated, Durst Factory Kane number 9, Dason Pursley. We get set to get cars underway for the final race-ready hot lap session of the evening. Green flag conditions for race-ready hot lap session number 3 for Flight B of Honest Abe Rubin qualifying. Logan Schuchart with a 13.373, fastest so far in this group. Not any longer Dason Pursley, quickest overall at a 13.157. Logan Schuchart to the top of the speed chart, 13.140. Track is fast. Fastest driver in that final race-ready hot lap session. Quickest overall for the drivers in Flight B. Logan Schuchart in car number 1S, time of 13.140 seconds. Average speed 116.438 miles per hour. Dason Pursley second at a 13.157. Anthony Macri third at a 13.197. Carson Macedo fourth, and Hank Davis rounding out the top 5. There was word going around Volusia Speedway Park last night, late after the races, that member of the local law enforcement had a radar gun at the end of the backstretch going into turn number 3 last night. And the sprint cars were entering turn 3 at right around 138 miles per hour. First pair of Honest Abe Rubin qualifiers on the Speedway from Bradenton, Florida. Driving the Tub Towels, Emily Oil, Hellraiser Jacks, Mesilla Valley Transportation, All-Star Performance number 28, M. Connor Morrell. And joining Morrell, rookie contender from LaGrange, Ohio, the Hellraiser Jacks, Mr. Heater, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Heat Star Simpson Race Products, number 6 of Casey Jedrzejek. Lap 1 for Morrell, 13.083, Jedrzejek goes 13.206, both Bill Rose Racing cars in this first pairing. Second lap for Morrell, 13.108. First lap was better at 13.083. Jedrzejek improves on lap 2. He goes 13.121, Next pair out from Northport, Florida, the Oswego Speedway GSR chassis, Glenn Stires Racing 0D of Danny Sams III. And from Lemoore, California, the 2C Racing Outlaw Wings, Wedge High Performance Carts, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Level Utilities, number 2C of Cole Macedo. Danny Sams in 0D, Cole Macedo in the number 2C. Danny Sams on lap 1 at a 13.70213.702. First time by for Cole Macedo is a 13.566.135.66. Second lap for Sams is better. It is a 13.652.13652. Second time by for Macedo, an improvement as well at a 13.476.134.76. From Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and the Weikert's Livestock RV 4-wheel drive, SpeedwayCars.com, York Excavating, number 48, Danny Dietrich. And from Indianapolis, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Spire Motorsports, Brand Professional Agriculture, Gamebridge, number 7 BC, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. Danny Dietrich in 48, Tyler Courtney in the 7 BC. Lap 1 for Dietrich, third quick, 13.280.113.281. Courtney now third quick at a 13.200.132.00. Second lap for Dietrich, better, 13.240.813.248. Courtney's second lap, 13.214. First lap better at 13.200. Leading the next pair out from Higginsville, Missouri, the Casey's FVP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Jitsville Transfer, Wilkerson Crane Rental, 21 of Blackjack, Brian Brown. And your Wednesday night feature winner from Lebanon, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting, Tag Truck Centers, Z-Max, Stanton Racing Engines, number 17 of Spencer Baston. Brian Brown in 21, Spencer Baston in the number 17. First lap from Blackjack, second quick, 13.103.131.03. Baston on lap 1, 13.415.134.15. Brian Brown, second lap time, 13.133. First lap better by 3/100ths of a second. And for Spencer Baston, his second lap better at a 13.359.133.59. Kevin Gobrecht Award by 5-Star Bodies contender leads the next pair out from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, the Gibbsville Cheese, Scottfield Builders, Flint Trucking, CMR Wholesale Tools, Professional Plating, number 16C, the Big Wheels, Scotty Thiel. And from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, driving the J&S Classics, Randy Shearer Heating and Plumbing, DMS Trash, number 39M, the Concrete King, Anthony Macri. Lap 1 for Thiel, fifth quick, 13.247.132.47. First lap for Macri, fourth quick, 13.154.131.54. Second lap time for Thiel, 13.269. First lap official with 13.247. Anthony Macri, second lap, quick time, 13.045.130.45. Fastest in Flight B and fastest overall tonight so far for the Concrete King, Anthony Macri. We will go under yellow flag conditions to cross a car back to the outer pit area. More problems for the 2C of Carson Macedo. We understand an engine issue there. They will head back out and begin the process of changing power plants. So Anthony Macri turning the fastest lap of the night so far, 13.045 seconds, and an average speed of 117.286 miles per hour. We roll 2 more Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers to the Speedway. First to hit the racetrack from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, the Michael Dutcher Motorsports Lifestyle Homes Big Rig Repair Service of Indiana Parallax number 17 GP, Hank Davis. And from Jacksonville, Oregon, the Avanti Windows and Doors Jugo Superfoods Brick Spring Car Wash Water Treatment by Design Juniata Concrete number 13 of Tanner Holmes. Hank Davis, 17 GP, Tanner Holmes in car number 13. Lap 1 for Hank Davis, 13.475, 13.475. Tanner Holmes on lap 1, 5th quick at a 13.135, 13.135. Davis better on lap 2, goes to 13.339, 13.339. Second quick for Tanner Holmes at a 13.056, 13.056. Second quick for Tanner Holmes in a 13. Next 2 drivers to roll onto the Speedway. From Lemoore, California, the all-by-your alternative MVT, Tarleton and Sun Sage Family, Scott Boyd Family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions, number 41, Carson Macedo. And from Canton, Illinois, the NOS Energy Drink King Racing Products, Jim Schucknick, Time Performance Lubricants, Phillips and Tosco Developers, number 7S of Chris Wyndham. Carson Macedo, 41, Chris Wyndham in the 7S. 7th quick for Macedo on lap 1, 13.244, 13.244. Wyndham's opening lap. 8th quick at a 13.246, 13.246. Macedo's second lap, 13.255. First lap official with 13.244. Second lap for Wyndham, 13.376. His first lap better as well with a 13.246. From Ankeny, Iowa, in the Higher View IntelliSense, Heartland Steel C&D Elevator Construction, number 4, Cameron Martin. And from Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Federated Auto Parts, Duramax, Mark Martin Motors, TKS Concrete Shark Racing, number 1S, Logan Schuhart. Cam Martin in the number 4, Logan Schuhart in the number 1S. First lap for Martin, 13.477, 13.477. Logan Schuhart on lap 1. 5th quick, 13.109, 13.109. Second lap for Martin improves, a 13.355, 13.355. Logan Schuhart on lap number 2. Quick time, 13.035, 13.035. Logan Schuhart now fastest at 117.376 miles per hour. Next 2 Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers from Liverpool, Pennsylvania. Aboard the Village Square Plaza Mountain View Travel High-Tech Metal Smith Titanium. Number 11, it's TJ Stutz. And from Ankeny, Iowa, in the Higher View IntelliSense, Heartland Steel C&D Elevator Construction, number 44, Chris Martin. TJ Stutz in the 11, Chris Martin in car number 44. Stutz on lap 1 goes 13.598, 13.598. Chris Martin's first lap time, 13.250, 13.250. TJ Stutz on lap 2, 13.651. First lap better, 13.598. Chris Martin's second lap, 13.475. First lap official for him at a 13.250. And your final pair of Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers rolling out now from Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Casey Kane Racing with Mike Curb, Napa, Brumos Collection, Ballard Incorporated, Durst Factory Kane, number 9 of Dason Pursley. And from Kokomo, Indiana, the Indy Race Parts, Wood Racing Products, Engines, Chalk Sticks, and Schroeder Torsion Motors, Elite Wings, number 71 of Parker Price Miller. Dason Pursley in 9, Parker Price Miller in car number 71. Pursley's first lap, 6th quick, 13.115, 13.115. First time by for Parker Price Miller is a 13.248, 13.248. Pursley's second lap up to the top 5, 13.098, 13.098. Parker Price Miller 8th quick on lap 2, 13.152, 13.152. That concludes Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing Qualifier. Your quick qualifier in that flight and your overall Simpson Quick Time Award winner this evening in car number 1S, Logan Schuhart. His time 13.035 seconds, 117.376 miles per hour. Anthony Macri second, 13.045. Tanner Holmes third, 13.056. Connor Morrell fourth. Dason Persley rounds out the top five as we get downstairs to Connor Wade.
Logan Schuhart's been fast all week so far, maybe a little bit faster tonight even. Logan, good start for you to set overall quick time pretty late in Flight B. Does that tell you how fast this 1S is right now?
Yeah, to cap off the week like that, as far as qualifying goes, that's awesome because something that we worked on over the winter, and to come down here and have 3 good qualifying runs and then to cap it off with a quick time is awesome. So shout out to Michael Newman, Newman's Racing Engines, Jeff Ryan and Wing Dynamics, FK Shocks, Doug Berryman, Triple X Chassis, Prime Composites, DMI. Everybody that makes this thing work. It's fun when you got a fast hot rod and feel confident can go out there and lay down a fast lap.
Now looking at Big Gator points, Schuhart not completely out of it. He's in 5th, 14 back to the lead.
Thank you, Connor. So a great start to the evening for the Shark Racing number 1S. Meanwhile, you can see the 2C for Cole Macedo rolling into the trailer as they get set to perform an engine change. It has been a rough Saturday evening for Wayne Johnson and crew. Connor Wade documented the issues they had early on when they had a rear end problem after just firing the engine for the first time, and now they lose an engine during Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, so an engine change taking place in the pit area for sophomore World of Outlaws driver Cole Macedo. The Ironman of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals, the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds with their Gator Championship Racing program this evening. A little different than we've seen the last few nights when it's been features only. We've already locked 18 drivers into their championship feature. We'll run 4 last chance showdowns for these drivers, and then their big feature paying $5,000 to win Chris Steppen. We've had triple digits for the car count here over the course of the last 10 days.
Yeah, we have 104 different modifieds have turned a lap here over the last 9 days for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. You're exactly right. We've locked in 18 drivers. Those drivers will get a hot lap session a little bit later on into the program. What you'll see next is hot laps for the non-qualified cars. There will be 4 10-lap last chance showdowns. The top 2 finishers will transfer into the main event. We will have several hot lap sessions for those drivers so they get an opportunity to roll around the racetrack. Modified drivers on the infield. Again, we will let them roll around the Volusia Speedway Park here to get a lap or 2 around the racetrack prior to their last chance showdowns. Those last chance showdowns will happen right after opening ceremonies. So we'll run these 4 last chance showdowns for the mods, lock the 2 finishers of each of those in. There will be 4 provisionals that will start at the back of the Big Gator race for the modifieds tonight as well. 32 cars, I believe, will start that 30 lap 5,000 to win main event. Coming up a little later on into the program, we'll see if we open that turn 4 gate and let the modified drivers roll onto the infield.
Well, Chris, as we await that first practice session for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds, time to tell people to get to know your neighbors a little bit better and squeeze together a little tighter. We have a jam-packed crowd here at Volusia Speedway Park and still a huge line of folks outside the gate. So those of you in the general admission section, you know the drill. Squeeze together as tightly as you can. Don't take up any more space than you need because we are going to have a packed house here tonight for the finale for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series and the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds for the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals in 2026.
Modified drivers have rolled onto the racetrack. Let you know who these drivers are as they roll out there quickly. The 84 has rolled to the racetrack. That's Henrico, North Carolina's Ryan Toole. Work his way down the back straightaway. Right behind him, the 21B. That's Hattiesburg, Mississippi's Hunter Breland. Breland in the 21B, midway down the back straightaway. Right behind him, Michael Altabelli. He'll start in the front row of the last chance showdown a little later on tonight. He's out of Saxton, Pennsylvania in that 35 car. The 01 car will be Aiden Hines. Hines is out of Loveland, Ohio, one of the 3 University of Northwestern Ohio entries here this week. Right behind him, you'll find the 81C car. That's Christopher Cole. Cole is out of Evansville, Indiana in the 81C. Working midway down the back straightaway, the 72H car. That's Richmond, Indiana's Tristan Chamberlain. Tristan Chamberlain in 72H as he works into turn number 3. Right behind him, another one of our UNOH entries. That's Columbus, Ohio's Eric Kinney. Eric Kinney in the 1 car. Also on the back straightaway, 26 car, that's Adam Ogle. Adam out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, behind the wheel of that 26. And the final driver in this group makes a long trip out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. It's Jason Bolio. Jason Bolio in the 90. Hot session number 1 for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Again, these are the drivers that are not yet locked into the Big Gator main event. If they choose to hot lap, several drivers are just in their pit areas getting ready for their LCS here coming up shortly. Checkered flag flies over the opening hot lap session. Mark Anderson's 43A car snuck onto the racetrack. The driver out of Lowell, Michigan was the last driver in that group as he works down the back straightaway. Fastest driver in the opening practice session will be Hattiesburg, Mississippi's Hunter Breland in the 21B. Breland down the back straightaway in that 21B in 18.102. 18102 for Hunter Breland. Turn the fastest lap in the opening practice session here for the non-qualified cars for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Again, another flight of cars will come rolling onto the racetrack. Several hot lap groups on the infield, several staged around the rim road between turns 3 and 4 here at Volusia Speedway Park as well. Looks like we'll open that turn 4 gate. We'll let some cars roll onto the front straightaway out of the turn 4 gate. First driver that is going to roll down the front straightaway will be Mineral Wells, West Virginia's Bobby Bagley. Bagley in that 5 cars. He works his way underneath the flag stand. Right behind him, one of our Canadian competitors, that 57 car is Charlie Sandercock. Charlie out of Trenton, Ontario, Canada. He works his way into turn number 1. The 11 car, the 3rd UNOH entry this week. That's Moran, Kansas racer Dylan Drake. Dylan Drake in the 11. Also on the front straightaway, the 99 car calls a Winnemac, Indiana home. That's Justin Haley. Justin Haley in the 99. Also down the front straightaway, you'll find the 29C car. That's Joey Cotterman. Cotterman out of Cookeville, Tennessee in that black and orange 29. Other cars on the racetrack, the 99 car, that's Cole Hilton. Cole's out of Concord, North Carolina, the black, white, and green 99. Right behind him, you'll find Dave Weedholder. Weedholder out of Liberty, Illinois in the 05. Your defending Big Gator champion, Kurt Spalding on the racetrack as well. Spalding out of Waterfleet, Michigan in that black, white, and blue number 5. Right behind him, Mason Lobb. Driver out of Frewsburg, New York, behind the wheel, that white, black, and blue 28. And the final driver in this group is the 14 car. That's Botkins, Ohio's Dalton Lane. Dalton Lane in 14. (18.102), the fastest lap in hot laps so far for the modifieds. Hunter Breland still turned the fastest lap. So we work towards the white flag in a hot lap session number 2. Checkered flag displayed over the field in this hot lap group. Hunter Breland still the fastest lap of the night so far. Fastest driver in this group, though, the Canadian Charlie Sandercock. Sandercock with an 18.493, 18493 for that red and white 57 as he makes the turn out the backstretch gate. Hunter Breland, Jason Bolio, Charlie Sandercock, Kurt Spalding, Ryan Toole, the top 5 on the speed charts for hot laps for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds here tonight. Next group begins to roll out of the infield. The 11Z car will be Eustis, Florida's Zane Odewald. He'll be that first driver to make his way onto the racetrack in turn number 1. Odewald will lead this group down the back straightaway. Right behind him, you'll find the 09 car. That's Pontiac, Illinois' Michael Ledford. Michael Ledford behind the wheel of the 09 car as he works his way down the back stretch as well. Right behind him, it'll be Keystone Heights, Florida's Josh Sanford. Josh Sanford in the 3 car. Right behind him, the 1H car. That is Brooks, Kentucky's Ben Harmon. Ben Harmon behind the wheel of that 1H. Right behind him, another Kentucky racer. It'll be Jimmy Lennox Jr. in the 8. He's out of Maysville, Kentucky. In that black, white, and red number 8. Also on the back straightaway, the 21C. That's New Bremen, Ohio's Drew Charlson. Drew Charlson in the 21C. Mikey Kopke back with us tonight. Kopke out of Astor, Florida in that 52. As he works his way through turns 3 and 4. A couple more drivers in this group. The J82, that's O'Fallon, Missouri's Trev Jacoby. Trev Jacoby in the J82. Right behind him, the 71 car, that's Pierce McCarter. Pierce McCarter out of Seymour, Tennessee. And the final driver in this group's the 99. That's Westminster, Maryland's Ray Cable. Ray Cable in 99. Group number 3 for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds, rolling around the world's fastest half mile here tonight. Just a quick green-white checker here for each of these modified hot lap groups. Checkered flag is out in this group. Still Hunter Breland, 21B car with an 18.102, fastest driver in that group. That black and white 71 car working down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Pierce McCarter, 3rd quick overall here in hot laps with an 18.331. Again, Hunter Breland, Jason Bolio, now Pierce McCarter, Mikey Kopke, and Charlie Sandercock, the top 5. John Gibson mentioned a large group trying to get in the gate. There's a large group just trying to come down the road here to enter the property. We are about to have a jam-packed Volusia Speedway Park tonight. There are cars both directions here on Highway 40. That's a great shot right there. Everybody trying to roll in here to Volusia Speedway Park to take in this Saturday night racing program. Here comes the next group. Working their way down the front straightaway, the 66 car will be Adam Wright. Adam out of Castilian Springs, Tennessee in the black, white, and blue 66. Will work his way underneath the flag stand. Right behind him, the 43J, that's Jacob Hall. Jacob out of Wayland, Kentucky in that 43J. Next driver on the racetrack, the 36, that's Kenny Wallace. Kenny out of St. Louis, Missouri. Behind the wheel of the 36 car. Behind him, last year's Volusia Speedway Park modified track champion Jason Garver. Garver out of Stark, Florida in the 27. Also on the Speedway, the 3F car, that's Rob Fuquay. He's out of Paris, Illinois in the 3F machine as he works his way into turn number 1. Next driver you'll see on the front straightaway out of Cave Creek, Arizona, that's Taylor Cool. Taylor in the 2K car, she works down the front straightaway. Also on the racetrack, the 0 car, that's Damian Kiefer. Damian out of St. Genevieve, Missouri in that black and green 0 car. And the final driver in this group, the 88 car, that's Cody Thornhill. Cody out of St. Louis, Missouri, as he works his way down the back straightaway in 88. Hunter Breland, 18.102. The fastest lap in hot laps for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds thus far. See if anybody goes faster than that. New driver atop the speed charts. The blue and white 36, Kenny Wallace, 18.003. 18003 for Wallace in 36. Checkered flag out, hot lap session in number 4. Kenny Wallace just became the first driver to go under 18 seconds. 17.871, 178.71. Kenny Wallace now fastest on the speed chart. Hunter Breland, Adam Wright, Jason Bolio, and Jason Garver. Top 5 in speeds here, as I believe we've got one more hot lap session yet to go. Final set of cars will make their way off the infield, several from the outfield and several from the infield here in this final group. 70 car will roll to the racetrack. That will be Ty Norder, the driver out of Mooresville, North Carolina, sitting in that Jim Britt Motorsports 70 car. He works into turn number 1. The 11D, Brian Dively, will roll to the racetrack as well. Brian out of Springfield, Illinois, in that 11 car. Buzzy Rodeman will roll to the racetrack. He's out of Zephyr Hills, Florida, in the 00 car as he works his way down the back stretch. Looks like we are catching up with the 17 car of Mikey Wilson. Wilson out of Louisa, Kentucky, in the middle of the back stretch. There's Buzzy Runeman, we mentioned a moment ago, the 84-year-old in the 00s. He works underneath the flag stand here in the 00. We'll catch the rest of the group as they work from the outside. The black number 12, that's Paris, Tennessee's Lucas Lee. The middle of the back straightaway in that 12 car. Gene Nicholas right behind him. Gene out of Lowell, Arkansas, behind the wheel of the 11N car. That's that blue and white number 11. And the final driver in this group, Mooresville, North Carolina's Matt Crafton. 3-time Truck Series champion Matt Crafton in place 6. Final hot lap session should be wrapping up. For the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds, Kenny Wallace, again the only driver under 18 seconds in hot laps to begin the program tonight. Checkered flag begins to fly here over hot lap session number 5. Checkered flag is out. Kenny Wallace stays atop the speed chart, 17.871, the only driver under 18 seconds. Lucas Lee, fastest in that group with an 18.102. He'll be second overall. Hunter Breland, Adam Wright, Mikey Wilson into the top 5. John Gibson, DIRTcar UMP Modified, hot laps complete for the night.
So that concludes the practice sessions, the race-ready hot laps for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series and the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. We've got a report from the pit area and Connor Wade.
And standing by right now around the 2C pit area of Cole Macedo. Remember, we told you at the very beginning of the night that this team had a rear end failure whenever they pushed the car off. Then in qualifying, John, you reported that the team was changing a motor. I'm standing by with Cole right now. Cole, you guys have just wrapped this engine change up. You've got the heat race swing on the car now. What exactly led to this engine change?
Yeah, I just have a awful vibration. Had a little bit last night, and then with our failure today, it's got us a little bit scared there. So yeah, it vibrated again there in hot laps and qualifying, and we're way off the pace. So yeah, we figured we needed to make a change.
This is a stressful time. You feeling all right? Are you calm going into the heat race coming up in a little bit?
Luckily, I've got a little bit of experience the last couple nights coming from the back of the heat. So hopefully we can just keep doing what we've done the last couple nights and claw our way back to the front and hopefully have some fun.
Appreciate your time. Good luck. That's Cole Macedo. It's been a stressful Saturday night for this team so far. Cole did gain a lot of spots in last night's feature. What is on the side of Cole in this 2C team is time for modified last chance showdowns coming up after opening ceremonies before the sprint car heat races. But for a young driver, this is definitely a humbling experience for Cole Macedo.
Definitely so, and even more time than just the modified last chance showdowns, because Cole is scheduled to start 9th in the 4th and final heat race of the evening for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Opportunity for us now to take a quick break here on DIRTVision and come back with those opening ceremonies live from the Saturday night portion of Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals.
This copyrighted DIRTVision broadcast may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or distributed in any form without World Racing Group's written consent. Copyright infringement is a federal crime.
raw horsepower, built on dirt. This is the World of Outlaws.
Let's rock and roll with the World of Outlaws.
Coming to Henry County Motorsports Park, presented by the Henry County Tourist Development Council.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder. Slicker. Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
Some races you watch, some races you experience. June 17th through the 20th, the Huset's High Bank Nationals raises the stakes with $300,000 on the line, making it the highest paying sprint car race in the country. The Huset's High Bank Nationals. Where will you be when history is made?
So, you like NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Here's some Toyota legends you can get behind. Meet Tyler Reddick. Crushed it in Xfinity Series and now he's here. Basically the Cinderella story if Cinderella drove 200 miles per hour. Then there's John Hunter Nemechek. New kid on the block, all gas, no brakes. Oh, and Denny Hamlin. Ever heard of Daytona? He's won it 3 times, no big deal. We have a lot of drivers, all legends. You pick. You in?
We've got some track packing taking place on the top side of the Speedway before we move into this evening's opening ceremony. So glad to have everybody with us. And again, for those of you in attendance here at Volusia Speedway Park, as we look at that gorgeous Florida sunset, we want to ask those of you in the general admission section to get to know your neighbors a little bit better, squeeze together a little tighter. We look from the drone high above Volusia Speedway Park, and just a few moments ago, we saw the line stretching all the way back down toward Ormond Beach, of the folks still lined up waiting to get into to the facility for the Gator Championship night with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series and the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. And again, still a lot of racing action to come next week here at Volusia Speedway Park. As we continue on with the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals, we mentioned the USAC Sprint Cars here on Monday and Tuesday, joined by the DIRTcar UMP late models. Wednesday, the Super DIRTcar Series Big Block Modifieds roll in from the Northeast, joined by the DIRTcar UMP late models once again, and then we bring in the most powerful late models on the planet, the World of Outlaws late models, to wrap things up along with the Super DIRTcar Series here next week at Volusia Speedway Park. Live coverage of all of these events, as always, on DIRTVision. And of course, for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, the next event on the schedule is right back here at Volusia Speedway Park for the Bike Week Jamboree. dates on that. Sunday and Monday, March 1st and 2nd. That is Sunday and Monday, March 1st and 2nd for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, returning right here to Volusia Speedway Park for the Bike Week Jamboree. From there, it's on to Talladega Short Track on Friday, March 6th, and the Black Ice Brawl at Magnolia Motor Speedway in Columbus, Mississippi on March 7th. Next couple of races for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Fan zone is open for business right behind the front stretch grandstands, and that includes the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series official souvenir trailer, the greatest store on dirt. And they've got the very special Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies available down there. We'd encourage you to go by and check out all the cool stuff available from the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series as we look from high above the fan zone here at Volusia Speedway Park. World Racing Group's CEO Brian Carter on the tractor scraping the walls here at Volusia Speedway Park as the track prep continues and we prepare for opening ceremonies. First heat race action, actually first last chance showdown for the DIRTcar UMP Modified, scheduled right at 7 p.m. this evening. And again, fantastic car counts all week long here. We had 44 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars on hand, and Chris, I believe you said 104 DIRTcar UMP Modifieds throughout the last 10 days, so spectacular car counts here for the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. Speaking of Federated Auto Parts, we'd like to welcome all of our guests from Federated Auto Parts to Volusia Speedway Park here this evening. And again, a quick look at those big Gator points for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Buddy Kofoid just 2 points in front of Carson Macedo, with Anthony Macri third, Spencer Baston fourth, and Logan Schuhart completing the top 5. Speaking of our friends at Federated Auto Parts, I-55 Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park in Peevely, Missouri, hosting the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. First weekend, Friday and Saturday, April 10th and 11th, the Spring Classic. That is Friday, April 10th and Saturday, April 11th. And then we move into August for the running of the Ironman 55, Friday and Saturday, August 7th and 8th, I-55 Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park in Peevely, Missouri. You can get tickets for those events online right now at worldofoutlaws.com. And what can you say about the racing surface here, not only this week, but last week when the ASCS sprint cars were here, and a couple of weeks ago during the Sunshine Nationals for the World of Outlaws late models. We've been documenting all week long about how we finally got access to the place where we got the original clay that was on Volusia Speedway Park. We were able to get 300 truckloads of clay and bring it in and put it on the racing surface here over the course of the off-season. And it has been a spectacular success for every division that has turned wheels on the world's fastest half mile. Looks like the track crew just about wrapping up some wheel packing here. We are just moments away from going into our opening ceremonies, a very special opening ceremonies here this evening. Tonight, the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series racing at Volusia Speedway Park for the 70th time. dating back to February 9th of 1981 when the legendary Doug Wolfgang won that first event here. Over the course of the last 32 years or so, I've been fortunate enough to see racing on basically 5 different racetracks on property here at Volusia Speedway Park. This racetrack in its original dirt configuration and then was pavement for several years. There was a 3/8 mile track out where the former go-kart track and where the VIP parking is now. That track hosted sprint car racing while they ran pavement racing here on the big track. I got to see sprint cars, super modifieds, and midgets on the pavement here. I've seen sprint cars, late models on the dirt, the big block modifieds. Saw sprint cars on the 3/8 mile oval, and then it was paved. They actually had a Busch Grand National race there on the pavement, and saw the go-kart track as well. In fact, I had the privilege of coming down here and announcing WKA Nationals on New Year's Day several years ago. Looks like we are officially set to kick off our opening ceremonies. And to get us underway this evening, down to Victory Lane stage and Peyton Williams.
Thanks, John. The start and end of every year for the dirt car competitors is right here at the world's fastest half mile, Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida. Hard to believe that we're almost at the ending of the full first week here of the 55th annual Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals. Before we move into opening ceremonies, a couple of drivers that we want to recognize here first. Of course, part of the festivities that open up each and every racing season is congratulating and acknowledging our champions from 2025. So we're soon to hear first from Tyler Nicely, the Owensbury, Kentucky native. He was the 2025 DIRTcar Summer Nationals champion, won the Hell Tour in 2025, and as he steps up on to the Victory Lane stage, Tyler, this is a place you've won a lot of races. This is part of a season, or part of the season where you usually begin very successful years. What is it about this racetrack that you like so much, and what makes you so successful here at the world's fastest half mile?
I just like coming down to Florida. You know, it's a big track, usually good on momentum stuff, and obviously Nick's cars are really good down here, so just an overall good balance and a good package.
You win half of the races basically that you showed up for this summer as part of the DIRTcar Summer Nationals. You said part of the reason that the time was missing was because you and your wife welcomed a new baby boy, Aston. What's life like been for Tyler the dad instead of Tyler the race car driver?
It's awesome. You know, everybody always told me everything will change with that, and I mean it changes a little bit, but it's really cool, and you know, it's been real special having both of them down here this week and getting to go to Victory Lane, so that was awesome.
Tyler Nicely, a winner here in 2026 as he was in 2024, has a big gator to his resume, had to miss the 2025 DIRTcar Nationals to injury, but he was down here on property. Turning wrenches for this driver, fellow Owensbury, Kentucky native Cole Falloway. Cole, you come to Volusia Speedway Park last year as part of a year that you kick off with 5 wins here at Volusia en route to the DIRTcar National Championship. What was so important about your first trip here with Tyler to set up what was an amazing year?
It was big for sure to start off the year with all them wins and just get rolling like that. It helped a lot just with our momentum starting the year. So we haven't been all that great this week, but we'll see if we can get better tonight.
What has been the biggest difference? Because you have been consistent, and I know that the Big Gator may be out of reach, but as you eye your first win of 2026, what do you need tonight against the best field you'll see all week?
The dirt's a lot different than it was last year for sure. We're a lot different on setup than we was last year, so we'll start somewhere between 7th and 12th tonight. Hopefully we can draw good and get to where we can steer a little bit better and try to get up through there.
Well, we'll hear from both of those drivers a little bit later on in tonight's redraw. Again, both Tyler Nicely and Cole Falloway going to be in the 7 through 12 starting spot redraw. Again, Tyler Nicely, we congratulate him on his 2025 DIRTcar Summer Nationals Championship, as well as Cole Falloway on the 2025 DIRTcar UMP Modified National Championship as well. Now, fans, it is now time for opening ceremonies, just moments away from on-track racing action here at the world's fastest half mile. So we ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps as Steve Fowler is here tonight to offer up the invocation.
Thank you. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, we are such a blessed people that you love us enough to die for us and desire a relationship with us. And I pray that for everybody here this evening. We're also blessed because we live in the greatest country in the world. We're able to come and enjoy racing in February in Florida. And I pray that you would be with our military who serve around the world to provide for that freedom. You'd keep them safe, help them to know how much we appreciate all that they do for us, and help them to know how much we love and care for them. Lord, we pray that you'd be with the drivers tonight. I pray that you'd help them to perform to the best of their abilities. I pray that you'd keep them safe, keep their crews safe, keep the workers here at the track safe, keep our fans safe. Help us have a great night of racing together. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Fans, John Gibson mentioned it up in the booth. A very special opening ceremonies here to close out the first full week of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. Now stepping up on stage, Scott Brumfield, as he is here this evening to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Fans, you saw the three horses on the racetrack here this evening. Veronica Hadd is riding a horse named Wyatt, leading the field, carrying the American flag. Teresa Wilkerson is riding a Zip, who is carrying the state flag of Florida. And Dee Dee Bartleson is riding a horse named Kratos, who is carrying the World of Outlaws flag around the world's fastest half mile here this evening. We ask that you please remain standing as now Scott will sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so valiantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
John, Chris, the horses have crossed the finish line. Time to put cars on track here at the world's fastest half mile. A couple of big gators being handed out tonight at the DIRTcar Nationals.
An outstanding Saturday night here at Volusia Speedway Park is on tap. Two great divisions, two big money paying events, and two big gators to be handed out throughout the night tonight. Thank you so much for coming. If you're here on the property, if you're watching around the world on DIRTVision, you're in for a great program as well. Race fans here on the property, don't forget 50/50 tickets are for sale all night long. We're rolling up on $1,500 already, and we haven't even started the race program yet tonight, so make sure you grab those 50/50 tickets. We will split the pot with one lucky race fan a little bit later on here into the program. As John mentioned before, 4 last chance showdowns coming up for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. It'll be the first 4 races on the program tonight. There'll be 10 laps in distance apiece, and the top 2 finishers will transfer into the Big Gator 30-lapper a little later on in the program tonight. If drivers do not finish inside the top 2 in these 4 last chance showdowns, there are several provisionals that'll be added to the tail of the field. Otherwise, they will watch the features with you and I a little bit later on. Looks like we've cleared the infield. And last chance showdown number 1 getting set to roll into the staging lane. Here's the starting lineup of your first DIRTcar UMP Modified Last Chance Showdown. It is an all St. Louis front row. Trev Jacoby, he's out of O'Fallon, Missouri in the J82. Will go to the inside of the front row, and Kenny Wallace will roll to his outside. Kenny out of St. Louis in 36. Row 2 inside will be former Volusia Speedway Park Track champion Dalton Lanick. He's out of Bunnell, Florida. He will start 3rd. He's in that 51 car. And Tristan Chamberlain will roll to his outside. He's out of Richmond, Indiana in 72H. Row 3 inside will be Brian Ruhlman. He's out of Clark Lake, Michigan in the 49. And his outside will be Jason Bolio, the driver out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada in 90. Row 4 inside's the X-Guards, Wyatt Scott. He's out of Garland, Pennsylvania, inside of the 4th row. And Chris Wilson will start 8th. He's out of Crossville, Tennessee in 56. Row 5 inside, you'll find Drew Charleston. He's out of New Bremen, Ohio in that 21C. And his outside scheduled to be Clayton Bryan, the driver out of Yoder, Indiana in 114. Row number 6 inside will be Mark Anderson, the driver to Lowell, Michigan in the 43A, and scheduled to be another Lowell, Michigan racer, Shannon Fisk, to his outside in 60. Row 7 inside is Cave Creek, Arizona's Taylor Cool. She will roll off inside of the 7th row, and her outside will be Josh Sanford, the driver out of Keystone Heights, Florida in 3. Next row inside will be Zane Odewald. He's out of Eustis, Florida in the 11Z. His outside will be Christopher Cole out of Evansville, Indiana in the 81C, and Ryan Toole scheduled to be your final starter tonight out of Enrico, North Carolina in 84. No Keith Tincher, no Joshua Kunzbeck. Those 2 drivers scheduled to start near the tail of this one as well. Of course, several drivers scratching from each of these if they've had bad luck and or just chose to sit out tonight, so lineups may change just a little bit. But that front row right there, two good friends from the St. Louis area. Of course, Trev Jacoby in the J82 picked up his first ever Gator trophy earlier this week, and Kenny Wallace will start to his outside. Kenny, one of the fastest cars on the property all week long in 36. Shuffle up the lineup at the tail of whatever we need to do as soon as we get everybody crossed through that turn 4 gate. Trev Jacoby told me prior to the drivers meeting today, he had a conversation with Kenny Wallace this morning and said, man, we're both on the front row here now. The top two transfer. Let's both just try to drive away and lock ourselves into the main event. So we'll see how that plays out once they both scream into turn number 1 on the opening lap of this. Again, it's 10 laps, so it's a quick 10-lap LCS and only 2 transfer. There will be 4 provisionals if drivers do not finish inside the top 2 in each of these races. The way the provisionals work, the highest driver from last year's DIRTcar UMP Modified National points that does not qualify, the highest driver in the current DIRTcar Nationals points that does not qualify, the highest driver in the Florida Speed Weeks points that does not qualify, and then the highest driver from last year's Volusia Speedway Park Track Championship point standings that does not qualify. So we've got 4 of those to give out throughout the night once these last chance showdowns are done. Turn 4 gate has swung shut. The backstretch gate is shut as well. The Volusia Speedway Park pace vehicle getting set to roll down the back straightaway. The field will form up behind them. Again, we'll go without Shannon Fisk, Keith Tincher, Joshua Kunzbeck. 14 cars there and ready to go. Everybody get set as we are ready to turn them loose. Next time by here, DIRTcar UMP Modified Last Chance Showdown number 1. Jacoby, Kenny Wallace ready to bring us to green here. The first race on Gator Championship night here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Jacoby in J82, Wallace in 36, green flags in the air, and we are racing with the mods. Kenny Wallace drives it in as deep as he can up on the outside of that 36. He'll take the earlier race lead. Trev Jacoby quickly into that second spot in the J82. Wallace and Jacoby doing exactly what they discussed on the phone this morning, jumping out to 1 and 2 and trying to drive away. Kenny Wallace, your race leader here. Trev Jacoby second, Jason Bolio now to third. Bolio to third, Tristan Chamberlain to 4th. Dalton Lannick into the top 5. Bolio up the hill. Chamberlain going to move out of that 3rd spot right now. Good 3-car battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. Bolio is way up out of the groove. That is going to allow the 51 of Dalton Lannick and the 3 of Josh Sanford to roll on by, and Bolio is going to jump back down the hill. He'll lose about 6 spots. Continue to race here down the back straightaway. It will be the 36 of Wallace, the J82 of Jacoby. There's the 2 transfer spots. Again, these are 10 lappers. They're going to go by quickly. Kenny Wallace, Trev Jacoby, Tristan Chamberlain. Chamberlain picked up his first ever Gator trophy earlier this week. He is on the outside looking in right now, sitting in that 3rd spot, hoping for some trouble for maybe one of the top 2 or maybe a mid-race caution here to put that 72H car back in the mix. Next time by, it'll be halfway through. 5 minutes, 5 to go. Kenny Wallace out there by .550, just over a half a second. The driver out of St. Louis, Missouri, of course. O'Fallon, Missouri, basically a suburb of St. Louis. Those two know each other very, very well. Jacoby just rolling around in that 2nd spot on the J82. Chamberlain is 3rd. Dalton Lannick and Josh Sanford continue to round out the top 5. Then it will be Wyatt Scott 6, Brian Ruhlman 7, Charleston, Mark Anderson, and Jason Bolio, the top 10 right now. Zeno Wald just outside of the top 10. Josh Sanford with trouble. He's going to spin off turn number 4. The caution is going to have to come out here for Keystone Heights, Florida's Josh Sanford. Well, Sanford got up the hill. I think he's got a flat right rear maybe on that 3 car as he got up the hill into turn number 3. There you see it on the screen. Right rear is definitely down on Josh Sanford's 3 car. And that's a tough break. He's had a good race car this week. Driver from not too far down the road from Keystone Heights, Florida. Disappointing Saturday night, but he should be happy with his overall performance this week. He's had a good car a lot of nights here. Trying to represent the state of Florida here during the DIRTcar Nationals. So we've got 6 scored, just past the halfway point. This, the caution of Tristan Chamberlain may be needed. We'll see what happens here on the upcoming restart. It'll be Kenny Wallace, Trev Jacoby, Tristan Chamberlain, 1, 2, 3. And it will be Dalton Lanik and Wyatt Scott, the top 5. Ryan Ruhlman, Drew Charleston will roll up in the next row. Then it'll be Mark Anderson, Jason Bolio, and Zane Odewald, the top 10. Taylor Kuhl will restart 11th. Ryan Toole and Christopher Cole. There's the cars remaining on the racetrack. DIRTcar double file restart. All the way through these last chance showdowns. Kenny Wallace will be in a row by himself in 36. And it'll be Jacoby and Chamberlain. Trev Jacoby is given the choice, running in the 2nd spot if he wants to restart inside or outside. He chose the top groove. So that J82 car will go to the outside. Tristan Chamberlain will work to his inside as we come right back to green. This time 6 scored, 4 remain for St. Louis, Missouri's Kenny Wallace in 36. Flag back in the air, Jacoby and Chamberlain, they're going to battle for that 2nd spot. Oh, Trev Jacoby's up the hill. Tristan Chamberlain going to race bottom the 2nd and final transfer spot. Can Trev Jacoby get back to him? Down the back straightaway, let's see what happens. Wallace will continue to lead. Chamberlain to 2nd, Jacoby is 3rd. Wyatt Scott and Brian Ruhlman now into the top 5. Ruhlman on the move. Brian Ruhlman to 4th and 49. Brian Ruhlman by a couple of cars into the 4th spot. Still a little bit of work to do. Down the back straightaway, Trev Jacoby's the one that's trying to get to that final transfer spot. Tristan Chamberlain trying to hang on to it. Kenny Wallace will race to the 2 to go signal this time. I will have 8 scored and a pair to go for race long leader Kenny Wallace here in 36. Kenny Wallace down the back straightaway trying to put that 36 car in the show. White flag will be displayed this time by as we work off turn number 4, final time around. Last chance showdown number 1. We've got one spinning over in turn number 2. We'll see if the yellow comes out or not. And it does. Caution does fly. That is the 81C of Christopher Cole. So caution has flown here. We'll see if we scored lap 9. Christopher Cole's 81C car facing the right direction once again on the backstretch. Kenny Wallace has led this thing from the drop of the green here. Tristan Chamberlain, Trev Jacoby, Ryan Ruhlman, and Wyatt Scott right now in the top 5 running spots. Again, only the top 2 transfer. Caution lights are out. Once again, the Herminator ready to bring us back to green. This time by for Kenny Wallace off turn number 4 in 36. Chamberlain, Trev Jacoby again going to drag race into turn number 1. Jacoby going to drop right back down to the bottom. Little different entry there for the J82. Meanwhile, that 36 car going to drive off down the back straightaway. Wallace has not been challenged in this. Chamberlain trying to hang on as he works off turn number 4. White flag will fly for Kenny Wallace in 36. Dalton Lanik has advanced the spot. He'll move up 1 position into the top 5 in that 51. Checkered flag is about to fly. 2 more drivers into the big Gator showdown later on tonight. Kenny Wallace off turn number 4. He's going to win it in 36. Checkered flag is out. First last chance showdown of the night. Top 2 transferees include the 72H of Tricky Tristan Chamberlain. He'll put that 72 car into the main event later on tonight. And your winner out of St. Louis, Missouri, in the 36 car, sponsored by Southern Country Customs, Priority Aviation, Sunoco Race Fuels, Low Voltage Solutions, Crow Equipment, Atwell Exteriors, K&L Ready Mix, Pit Stop Motorsports. It's a Daryl Hoffman powered Elite for Kenny Wallace. So Kenny Wallace, our first last chance showdown winner of the night. Last chance showdown number 2, getting set to roll onto the racetrack behind the Volusia Speedway Park pace vehicle. Kyle Hammer will be your pole sitter. He comes to you out of Clinton, Illinois in that orange 45. He'll go to the inside of fellow Illinois racer Michael Ledford. Ledford out of Pontiac, Illinois in 09. Road to inside another Illini racer. It's Dave Weedholder. He'll start 3rd. He's out of Liberty, Illinois in the 05. And Ray Cable out of Westminster, Maryland, set to roll off 4th in 99. Road 3 inside, reigning track champion Jason Garver. He's out of Start, Florida in the 27. And Ray Bollinger will roll to his outside. Ray out of Kewanee, Illinois in 77. Row 4 inside, 3-time NASCAR Truck Series champion Matt Crafton. He'll start 70s out of Mooresville, North Carolina in the 46. And Cole Hilton will roll to his outside. Cole out of Concord, North Carolina in 99. Next row inside will be Charlie Sandercock. He's out of Trenton, Ontario, Canada in that 57. And Joey Cotterman out of Cookeville, Tennessee in 29. Then you'll have Brian Dively out of Springfield, Illinois in 11. Mikey Kopke out of Astor, Florida in 52. You'll also have the 1 car of Eric Kinney out of Columbus, Ohio. And to his outside will be Rob Fuquay out of Paris, Illinois in 3F. 10 times around, top 2 into the A main. It's Kyle Hammer and Michael Ledford. Kenny Schrader scheduled to be in this race. Bryce Graber, Greg Bellier, and Zach Tate also scratching from last chance showdown number 2. 10 times around, top 2 into the main event later on tonight. Here comes Kyle Hammer. Here comes Michael Ledford. We are green in LCS number 2. Hammer and Ledford, as we said, a pair of drivers out of the state of Illinois. They'll drag race into turn number 1. Michael Ledford will take that Royal race car up top in 09. Ledford, Hammer 1-2. Ray Cable definitely wants in this show. He's sitting 3rd right now, trying to make it a 3-car battle at the front of the field. We got trouble here. A couple of them together. Heads up in turn 4. Caution coming out. Matt Crafton involved in the 46. Charlie Sandercock involved. Brian Dively as well. You see majority of the nose piece off Crafton's 46 car laying here on the front stretch. Quite see that start. We'll check the DIRTVision replay as we worked off turn number 4. Looked like Sandercock into the left rear of the 46 of Crafton, and that's pretty hard hit. Matt Crafton got into the inside retaining wall. You see what I mentioned a moment ago, the nose piece off that 46 torn off. Ray Bollinger and Cole Hilton were in close quarters there. Crafton rolled up quickly on him, and Sandercock got into the left rear in that 57. Here it is one more time up on the Jumbotron. You'll see how hard Matt Crafton gets into the wall. Keep an eye on the nose piece of that 46 right there. Good thing those tires are there to protect heavy contact with the concrete. See them dragging the nose piece of the 46 off the front straightaway. Crafton's night, unfortunately, will come to an end. Looks like Charlie Sandercock no longer on the racetrack either, so several of the competitors involved in this will take an early exit here in last chance showdown number 2. Lap number 1 went to Michael Ledford. We'll see if we scored the lap or not. He was the leader on the lap number 1 when they crossed the line, but this was lap 1. See that mangled up nose piece, front bumper off the 46 of Crafton for 45 of Kyle Hammer and 09 of Ledford did not get everybody by the start-finish line, so we will have a complete restart. 0 scored. Again, 45 of Hammer, 09 of Ledford. Ledford got the jump on the initial start last time. Let's see what happens here this time. So we work off turn number 4, back to green one more time. Kyle Hammer back to the race lead in the 45. Michael Ledford, crossover move on the backstretch. Hammer had a better restart. Ledford drove down the hill and took the lead. See who leads off turn number 4 this time. Hammer with a head of steam up around the top side. It'll be Kyle Hammer. Hammer will lead on the opening lap in 45. 9 of Michael Ledford, second, the 99. Ray Cable taking a look. Here comes Cable. Dave Weedholder's off the pace. We're going to race down the backstretch. We'll see if Weedholder can maybe make it off the racetrack. Ray Cable now to the back bumper of the 09 of Michael Ledford. Will stay green for now. Dave Weedholder, unfortunately, will end his DIRTcar Nationals early. Let's keep an eye on this battle for the runner-up spot, though. Ray Cable right there to the back bumper of the 09 of Michael Ledford. Ledford in that second spot. Cable is third. Ray Bollinger fourth. Jason Garber rounds out the top 5. Kyle Hammer all alone up front here in the 45. No one challenging him so far. He took the lead on the restart there from the 09 of Michael Ledford. He's driven off to a 1.4 second lead. Cole Hilton now off the pace on the front straightaway. Not sure he's going to make it all the way around and get off. He will not. The caution's out. So second caution of this last chance showdown will fly, this time for Concord, North Carolina's Cole Hilton. Hilton rolling to a halt there on the top of turn number 2. Saw whatever went wrong on the 99 happen as he exited turn number 4. He coasted by the flag stand all the way from turn number 1 to turn number 2. They will send a safety buggy up there to try to get him taken care of. He is, of course, pitted out back by the gator pond, so we'll open the backstretch gate and let him go back to his trailer, diagnose what potentially went wrong on the 99. We're 4 laps into this 10-lapper. Kyle Hammer, still your race leader, the driver out of Clinton, Illinois. Michael Ledford sits in that second spot. Ray Cable, Ray Bollinger, and Jason Garver sitting in the top 5 right now. We mentioned one of the potential track provisionals goes to last year's Volusia Speedway Park modified driver, highest in the point standings. Jason Garber, who runs 5th right now, is last year's track champion. So if that 27 car does not snag one of these top 2 spots, he does have a starting spot in the Gator race a little bit later on here tonight. DIRTcar double file restart upcoming. The 45 of Kyle Hammer started on the pole, lost the lead on the initial start, took the lead on the restart. These are the 4 laps that we've run so far, 4 and 6 to go. Hammer, Ledford, Cable, Bollinger, Garver. That's the top 5 as we get set to come back to a DIRTcar double file restart, this time by off turn number 4 for Kyle Hammer in 45. Hammer again to the lead. Keep an eye on Ray Cable. He drove it in as deep as he could. Cable now, can he catch the cushion? They'll slide to the outside of the 09 of Michael Ledford. They'll drag race for that second spot again. That all-important second spot here. Down the front straightaway. Ray Cable now to the runner-up spot. Cable now to the second position in the 99. Ray Bollinger 4th. Here comes the 52 of Mikey Kopke. He has raced his way into the top 5 as well. Ray Cable might not be done yet. Cable coming after your race leader, Kyle Hammer in 45. Hammer continues to lead in the 45. Cable down to the inside of the 99. Michael Ledford back to 3rd. Michael Ledford 1 spot out looking in. 5 a Hammer, still your leader. Cable given heavy pressure now as laps are winding down. Now Cable up the hill. Ray Cable up and over the cushion. Michael Ledford will flash back bottom, the runner-up spot. Again, that is the second and final transfer spot. Ray Cable's going to get right back on the gas. They're going to drag race down the front stretch. Good high side momentum move for Ray Cable with 2 to go. You see the damage on Kyle Hammer's 45. See if that slows him down any as we race to the white flag. This time by, he's got to horse that thing around another lap and a half. That hood's hanging on by a couple of hood pins here. He's got to hang on one more time. Down the back straightaway, Hammer trying to get in the show. Ray Cable right there in the 99. Those two have driven away a bit from Michael Ledford. Ray Bollinger going to race to his inside to that third spot here, but the checkered's about to fly. Last chance showdown number 2 does go to Kyle Hammer. He'll win it in 45.